quorum.
Need at least 8.
8, all right, well, I'll have 6. When I have 6, I'm gonna start. Megan's coming.
Yeah, there we go.
Right here. That's where you have to be. I don't know where everybody is. We've got 6, we need 2 more, but we're all right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Susan Cole. I'm the chair. My co-chairs, Mark Amoruso and Megan
Every time.
McHugh. I just had a momentary blank. And Jen Maldonado, who is on our, who's our staff person. So we have a big agenda tonight, and I'm going to start with, if I can, with the licensing. Patrick from our land use and zoning. Oh, hi, Mitch. Thank you. Is going to talk about the resolution on land use, zoning, and economic development that you all should have a copy of. Jen, you want to give Mitch one? And he'll explain to us, and then we'll go from there.
So this, as you may remember, folks, from December, this is a resolution that the full board passed on an item that was considered in the Land Use Committee. The folks from EDC are here. I'll let them explain themselves a little bit, but
Yeah,
just
show
to
us
sort of
it.
tee this up for you. The land use issue was a concession agreement that EDC was entering into with its city counterparts for portions of the DMAP pedestrian streets within the South Street Seaport, basically between Water Street, Pearl Street, and South Street, along what was at the time Fulton Street. So where now the Chase Lounge, I think is what it's called, is. The idea was that the revenues that could be generated from events within that area are something that the city wasn't capturing. They estimate about $80 to $85,000 a year in potential revenues. They wanted to make sure that they were going to capture that and use about 95% of those revenues would go back within the historic South Street Seaport District. That was the land use item, but in the committee we had some concerns over how those events would be approved, what those events would look like, what are the rules and regulations around those events, and EDC, as part of their land use approval for from CB1 for the concession agreement in and of itself, agreed to enter into a memorandum of understanding with CB1 over the rules and regulations that would govern what those events would look like. The Land Use Committee firmly believed, and the rest of CB1 leadership firmly believed, that is something that is better suited for the licensing committee. So that's why I'm here, is to just briefly introduce that, briefly introduce the EDC folks, and hand the issue off to you guys now to negotiate with EDC for the Memorandum of Understanding. What you have before you is the resolution, as I mentioned, that we passed in December. And what I would really draw your attention to are the last whereas regarding community notification, and the first and third, therefore be it resolved paragraphs. And I think there's one more where.
The last whereas, which starts while committed to working community.
Yeah, for events. They're committed to working with an advanced notification procedure. EDC will negotiate and enter into a signed document and memorandum of understanding with CB1, which outlines certain quality of life, this is where your job comes in, quality of life parameters and concerns, including but not limited to hours of operation, sound, parking on surrounding streets, traffic mitigation, etc. And really it's the first and the third, therefore be it resolves, that they're here to work out. I would point out with regards to numbers 2 and number 4 of our resolution, those things have already happened. EDC agreed to both of those things, and I'd also point out there's a reference in here to a meeting on January 8th, 2013 with the Franchise Concession Review Committee, which is the city agency, the city body that formally approves the concession agreement. between EDC and Small Business Services SBS. That process is already concluded and the concession agreement is approved. So there's no need for this committee, I think, to necessarily bother yourselves with going through all of that. And that's why I'm sort of pointing you to focus on the rules and regulations around the events. Fair summary?
Great, thank you.
So from EDC.
Don't go away, Patrick.
I'm not.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Will Fisher with New York City Economic Development Corporation, EDC. Thanks, Patrick, for the introduction, and to the chairs of the committee for hosting us this evening. So, as Patrick mentioned, I think we're pleased to be able to come and speak about this issue with you all. This sort of functions a little bit differently than normal the normal permits and the normal processes, but it's in line enough with what this committee of the community board does that this is the right audience for us to have this discussion. And so, like Patrick mentioned, EDC, we oversee on behalf of the city a number of leases within the South Street Seaport area, including what is known as the joint maintenance area, which is the former streets, which are essentially the cobblestone areas at the end of Fulton Street down towards the water, where there are no cars, they're just the pedestrian streets. These streets were demapped way back in the 1980s, and as Patrick said, we are simply going through we went through a concession process with the city to approve the capture of revenue from events taking place in those former streets. So, like Patrick said, this is a concession from the Department of Small Business Services, which is the owner of the property, to EDC, which is the manager of the property, enabling us to host events in that area and work with sub-licensees to host events in that area. Like Patrick mentioned, something that's really important to us, and I think that we want to make sure to highlight, is that all of the revenues, the excess revenues from this project and from any events that take place in the area are going to go back into investments in the Seaport area. So there's a 5% fee that the Department of Small Business Service takes on behalf of the city. The rest of the revenues derived from any events taking place in this area will be held in a restricted fund by the Economic Development Corporation and will be put back into investments in the seaport, such as potentially improvements to the Street of Ships and Dock area, improvements to pedestrian wayfinding, other things that are not covered under the existing agreements. So generally, what we're talking about here, and I want to see if we have a better. Can we go back maybe actually to the first slide? I just want to make sure we are clear about what the area we're talking about is. One more back. Yeah. So this is mostly Fulton Street. And I forget what the other two are. But so this is the area we're talking about. Like Patrick said, there is a concession that's been approved from the Department of Small Business Services, the city, to EDC. But what the way that we are thinking about facilitating events and actually having folks apply to host events in this area is through a rolling procurement on EDC's website. So any event taking place through this would go through a request for proposals on EDC's website. And that is the method that we are going to be working with the community board to put the restrictions that we agree on here today. We're going to be putting those restrictions into that RFP so that when folks are applying to host events in the area, they sort of know up front what the restrictions around sort of types of events, hours of operation, et cetera, are. And one last thing that Patrick noted, we discussed entering into something in writing. I think we would entertain this evening a discussion with you all, and we would appreciate if you could deliver us something in writing, a set of recommended lists of restrictions, and then we can respond to you in writing with sort of just confirming that we're okay with that, or if we request any changes to that. Really quick before we take any questions, and we'll get to that for sure, I want to invite Sabrina from our team to discuss just really quickly sort of what exactly we're thinking when we think of events activating in the Seaport, so sort of exactly what we're envisioning there.
Yeah, so hi everyone, good evening. My name is Sabrina Littman. I'm a vice president in asset management, and one of my portfolios is the South Street Seaport, which I'm very excited about. I'm born and raised in New York, and so I have a lot of memories there. The thing we're most excited about with this concession is giving the community, nonprofits, an opportunity to activate these streets. Currently, just to give you an idea of what the process is, anyone that wants to activate or have an event in the former streets would usually go through Howard Hughes because that's the most prominent person that's prominent entity that's there. So what we want to create is an opportunity that is a lot more equitable for nonprofits that want to have an event there to come directly to the city through this RFP, a very approachable process to be able to host events in that area. And so we envision a lot of farmers markets, we envision, health events, things of that nature is what we're envisioning, not, if it's a nonprofit event, we're not looking for a revenue generating approach from there. But for those that are revenue generating, for example, like the bar that's there now, we can generate some revenue to bring back and improve the historic South Street Seaport. So that's kind of the idea behind this. So I think that pretty much, I know there'll be questions, so I can probably talk
My
about
name
it.
Wait, let Patrick
Sorry, I
and
just
let's,
will mention one thing, and it's an important point. When I talked about a memorandum of understanding and what really is gonna come out of all of this, and I'll leave it to you as a committee, but I think what we would understand it to be as a resolution that would then be adopted, and then EDC could, as Will said, respond to each of those points. That's sort of how this negotiation, I think, would work.
so first a resolution and then an MOU.
Yeah, response to the resolution in letter form.
Okay. So I have a question. So the bars and whatever that exist there now, are you going to allow them to stay?
They would need to respond to a request for proposal.
I see.
And that would need, depending on if the event is for longer than 7 days or shorter than 7 days, so that's obviously longer than 7 days, would need to go through an SBS approval as
You mean
well.
the bar that's in the middle of Fulton
Yes.
Street that has been there a couple of summers?
Correct,
So they'd have to go through an RFP.
correct.
Okay.
Very interesting. Okay, you mentioned one of my concerns, but, so does that mean that you would coordinate with Pier 17, so you wouldn't be hosting events on the same day?
So one provision, these streets were demapped in 1983, and part of the provision when they were demapped, subsequent to that, both Howard Hughes today, the company obviously wasn't Howard Hughes in 1983, but Howard Hughes today and the museum, because Howard Hughes has the joint maintenance area, which they spend all the money to keep the area secure and clean, and the museum is an anchor of that district, they both have approval rights for any event that comes in. So if you can envision, if someone submits an RFP, we agree to the quality of life parameters that we agree to here. They submit, they pass all of those requirements. The next step would be to pass it along to the museum, the South Street Seaport Museum, and to Howard Hughes for their approval.
So basically, you
event.
are going to coordinate,
We
not
have
having
to.
events on the same
We're
day.
required to,
Okay.
yeah, we're required to coordinate, to get their approval prior to allowing any event to happen.
Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, you can, hi.
Hi.
Can you give me a limit on how many people can be doing something on a given night?
That's a great question. So, I would say that's something that I think we should include, in, if there's interest from the community board to limit it to certain events or certain size events. I think it's gonna be dependent, again, I think the museum is going to be very interested to understand how it's laid out, as is Howard Hughes. And so, that's not something currently, whether there's multiple, I guess, permits on any given day. I think there would probably be, if, let's say, the bar is there as a main sub-concession, that's separate from like the one-day events. I can't imagine we'd have many one-day events, but I think that's something that should be included if that's a concern.
And something that's critical to us as well is making sure that emergency access throughout the corridor, as well as access to all of the storefronts and residences in the area, is taken into account in the site plan of whatever events are happening.
So that also would naturally limit it.
Yeah,
Right.
We've actually taken up a large venue committee, and I think you need to operate or actually understand what's going on simultaneously on different streets, whether it's Live Nation, or Speak No More, or 10 South, whatever it might be. You just can't operate sort of, in your own little, focus over there. If there are thousands of people coming to an event that's only 3 blocks away, I think you have to take that into consideration because you can't get out of the neighborhood or into the neighborhood.
Well, I think that should be put in whatever we write.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, absolutely.
And I would just echo that to say anything, this is new for us, right? So and considering that you are the experts in this field, any recommendations that you have of other calendars that we will have access to, so the SAPO calendar, and being able to know, so that we are checking certain calendars before we commit to any events would be very helpful for us.
And also notification to the community, so that the people who live right there at, not Independence Plaza.
In South Streets.
That they know what's going on.
And on the front street further down.
Right, exactly.
And that's number 3 on the resolution. That's a super important thing to accomplish.
And like Sabrina mentioned, so this is sort of an odd process that exists sort of in a similar vein to the sorts of applications that you all review, but we would also appreciate understanding sort of the existing process for community notification to make sure that we can approximate that as best as we can.
Mitch and then Mark.
Two quick things. First to the, you guys are a little more familiar with that neighborhood because I live more up. Where's the closest residential buildings to the, to this area that we're talking about?
Right across the street.
Right across the street.
Right,
Those are-
okay, so,
It's all residential.
okay, so then it's.
Jason lives right down there.
I'm more
200
familiar
more.
with this area.
200
Okay,
more.
so, and then, you guys just, it seems that you're expecting maybe 10% of, longer term events based on the whereas on the second, on the back of the first page, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, over. So what might be like some type of longer term events that, we just have an idea what those could be like, or, both type of events and length.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think probably the only one that we can think of as long-term events, because the vast majority are one-day events,
Right.
would be the bar that's currently in place, assuming that they apply. So that would be the only long-term event that we know of would apply today.
But like what we have in North Tribeca, where they have Fashion Week, which we have to do, like goes on for a couple of months, so you're not anticipating anything like that?
No,
So
we're
maybe
not.
putting something like that in where, would they just say, like temporary events, by this definition is 7 days or less, and then non-temporary events could be anything more than 7 days, so if they're not expecting anything that long, maybe we can kind of like temper the long-term terminology.
Mark?
How many days of the year do you expect to have events on the street?
So so there's obviously the high season, so we would say probably, that June to September would be the most active, is currently, when we think of creeping into May with like the Bloomberg Square Mile that has been there for some years.
So like 120 days?
No, I don't think so to be very honest, we don't know, but based on how active it is today, we see an average of maybe 20 to 30 events on the very, very, very high side. With, whether it's a yoga event with Fi-Di families or things like that. So we won't know until we don't kind of know the demand until the RFP is released and we understand who's
But the
interested.
calendar is 365 days a year,
Yes.
potentially, right?
Yes, the calendar is.
So
will be open
we have to
365.
consider from May through October.
Yeah.
We have to. That's the way we have to do it because it's outdoor, it's all of this, and that's what it usually has been.
So this is a little unique.
Yes.
It's actually very unique. It's like giving a permanent street fair permit.
That's correct.
And I have a lot of concerns about that, particularly for residents that live there. Because when you have these events, there's a setup, there's a takedown, there's noise, there's trucks, there's garbage, there's all sorts of things that it's not existing now, quality of life issues for these people, that are all of a sudden just gonna, influx there.
So
How can you tell
Yeah.
me that the
so-
setup is not gonna be noisy?
No, I hear you. So just in full transparency, these events have been happening, and we have not been able to extract any revenue from them. So we don't anticipate any difference in what's happened over the years.
Well, let me just say something, and my committee can correct me. These events have been happening when the ownership, Howard Hughes, has come to us with plenty of
Individual notice.
a notice, and we have written stipulations and around this. So are you going to come to us for every, I mean, if we put this in for every event you're going to happen, or you're going to come to us? That's one of the you know, a farmer's market is a little different than, I'm gonna have a fundraiser at night and I'm gonna have alcohol, or I'm gonna do, and music, and I'm gonna have a
Bands.
band and dancing and
DJ.
whatever. So, how you gonna do it?
Yeah, so I think that we, given that that's how it's gone in the past, I think we would be really interested to hear sort of a synthesis of the resolutions and stipulations that you all have applied in the past to those, and we can sort of apply that on a blanket term to anybody who applies for such an event through us.
I don't know if that
I
would
don't know
work,
if that
that
works.
would, I don't think that would work,
That doesn't
because, each event is a different method of operation. And each method of operation has different stipulations that we require on liquor licenses and street fairs. So, I necessarily don't think, I don't think anything
What?
blanket, I don't think anything blanket would really be appropriate, honestly. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but,
As Megan is saying, that your situation gives us no control whatsoever. Patrick, you
I
want to
just-
say something?
Yeah, just to kind of interject, I think that's all very true. I think the unique part of this is that it's a concession agreement as opposed to on a public street where you're doing street fairs and each and every one of those needs to be approved. They can go ahead and do, now that they have their concession agreement, they can go ahead and do these events without any quality of life parameters anyway, and I think the goal would be to have an understanding as to what those parameters would be in any and all events. I think if we don't come out of this with some kind of resolution, I worry that then they'll just set the parameters and then we're stuck with it.
I don't have any trouble with that, all right? But I have trouble with doing it tonight and coming up with a resolution. I think it is too quick, and I think what we need before we do this, which we want to do, there is no doubt that everybody sitting at this table, is we have to have a meeting with us sitting down so we can present it to the board with at least this committee, whether we have to have another special meeting, and quality of life.
No, but that, I mean, they're also welcome to come back and have, but I think we need to do it on a night when we don't have this full of an agenda. Because every event that happens, whether it's a bike ride, or whether it's a street fair, or whether it's a yoga event for families, have different quality of life implications. And so I think we need to kind of, I agree with you, we need to sit and think of that.
When do you expect to start this? This May?
So the idea is we have 45 days between starting tomorrow. We have 45 days with with the comptroller. So that's kind of the time frame we have that we'd love to get as much input from the community board as possible to incorporate into the RFP that would be released at that 45-day mark. Is the way we'd like to do it. And I just, just to be very transparent, the true purpose of having this concession is to be able to generate some revenue for these streets to keep in the seaport, in the historic South Street Seaport. That is it. I mean, it's for community groups, for nonprofits to have a much more equitable way to host events. The 5% that goes to SBS, that goes to SBS. The 95% goes to the Seaport District. We aren't reducing. Okay. Okay. Just to make sure that.
I
and
don't think you
okay.
find us hostile.
Okay.
I think what you hear from us
Concern,
is that
which just
we're
makes sense.
concerned and we
Which
want to
is-
ensure that the people who live down here are protected and that their quality of life
Absolutely.
isn't disrupted totally.
Absolutely.
Let me just interject, I don't think you understood what Joel was saying. So we're being inundated at the moment with all of these entities that want, we've become successful. We're a successful neighborhood. Everyone wants to be down here. So of course, we have all of these residents that have moved down, and now we need to help them maintain a quality of life. And so, along with all these other events that you may not even be aware of, now we're introducing yet some more. And you're right, some of them already exist.
Right.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I think two things really quick. I think one, I want to say sort of no matter what set of parameters we come up with, I think this is certainly not the last time that we'll be speaking with the board. I'm on the phone with Diana or Lucian probably 3 or 4 times a week about various projects in the district. So I think certainly it's not a one and done and we have our thing and we go off. It's, we stay in touch and we check in about how it's going. So I think that's something that's really important to us. And I think the term of the concession reflects that as well, that there's there's sort of a reauthorization. Would you remind me?
It's a 1 year concession agreement.
No.
He
So
needs
it's
to
only
sign
for 1
it.
year, and then there are
Mitch.
4 1-year options thereafter.
I forgot
So
to
for-
mention that.
So it would be a total, if all options are exercised, of a 5-year agreement.
And the FCRC, the committee that approves these sorts of concessions, the borough president has a seat on it. We've been working very closely with them to make sure that that they understand sort of that we're working with the community board to come up with a set of parameters. So I think I do just want to be really clear. Like Sabrina said, we would love to have have sort of the ability to open soliciting events 45 days from tomorrow. But at the same time, we will continue checking in with the community board, and this is something that we will need to be renewing each year. So there's opportunities to continue checking in. So I think that's sort of part number one, is sort of the ongoing communication, as well as the 1 year with renewal period. So the other part is, I think we would and I know, and Diana sent over a number of the resolutions from I think various events that have happened throughout Community District 1, but I think we would love to have a conversation regarding again, sort of what are general items that are pulled out from events that Howard Hughes was coming here to have in the past. So were there particular hours applied as to when events need to end by? Were there particular stipulations, to your point, Mark, about how events get set up and sort of what hours equipment can be operating in the streets? I think that's something we want to understand. Sort of what does the average event in that place look like? Understanding, like you all said, that something with yoga is different from a bar that happens, is different from this and that.
Patrick.
It just occurs to me that I would also build into that process and whatever agreement is ultimately reached, that there are regular check-ins and an ability to reform that agreement as needed when you start getting RFPs in and you start to see what kinds of events you're going to have, and this committee is able to sort of figure that out a little bit more and see how it's going, so that we're not stuck with these parameters for the full 1 year term that we set out at the beginning. If it's not 3 months in, you find out you're getting a lot more than yoga events, then
Right.
maybe there are
Right.
changes that need to be made.
And I think
the ability to make that change should be built into whatever agreement at the outset.
Sure, absolutely. And I think, like Sabrina said, this is very much an effort to monetize and keep that revenue in the Seaport District for things that are already happening. We are also, though, like she said, looking to sort of democratize the way that these events happen and make it easier for people to apply rather than having to go through Howard Hughes. So, we expect the same events. We could have new ones, and like, to Patrick's point, we continue checking in about that.
So, we're not going to come to a resolution tonight. So I want to figure out what makes the most sense. We will make a presentation at our meeting on the end of the month, but I don't think we will have enough of the information to do the resolution, which bothers me, but we can do it in March, which is still before your opening deadline. Hi Miriami, welcome. I want to get her. So, I guess we'll have to figure out with the committee, why don't you send us some dates where we can all sit down here and meet during the week? We have to look at our calendars, maybe a Friday midday or something like that. Not an evening, it's either early morning or we have community meetings all the time, so we'll have to work it. We'll work on it. All right, and you'll come
Put
at
you
our
on the
behest.
speak.
How's that?
We'll have to work something out.
Okay, because I
Well,
think
first
we're gonna
we'll-
have to sit down and figure this through. I don't want to rush it, and I want it to happen, and I want it to be in your timeline and our timeline, all right?
Right.
So I think that what we will do is we will have a report at our meeting on the end of the month, and we will aim for a resolution and a memorandum of understanding by the end of March. All right?
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
That is, and I think like Sabrina mentioned before, we're sort of new to the process, so like I said, if there's anything in the interim that is sort of
Yes.
general terms that are applied
Yes.
to everything that we could respond to,
Yes.
I think that would help sort of.
I would love you to give us a list, send it to Diana and Jen, of what you are anticipating as your venues, what you want to have there. Are you going to have a bar? It may not be this bar, but will you have a summer bar? Is
Yeah.
that what you're looking to? So that we have a sense of where you are in
Right.
all of this, okay?
Live music, DJs, things
all
that,
of that.
the speakers,
Sabrina,
things.
we want all
those
of
are
that,
the things that
please.
are the most
Right.
complaints.
And again, yeah, things
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
like the bike races. we have those
Who's
that
gonna do
everybody
the-
Bullhorns.
And who is gonna clean up ultimately?
That's all Howard Hughes.
Okay, so you have an agreement with Howard Hughes?
They have the joint maintenance area,
Okay.
which is why also part of them maintaining everything and they also provide all the security for the events, so they, I mean, alongside whoever
Are they gonna give you money?
events. Huh? That, well, that.
I mean, you're gonna have some economic
That's-
relationship with them,
that's-
okay.
Right.
But they do that,
I just wanted to make it out there,
Yeah, Howard Hughes leases all their property, most of the property.
okay.
I said this earlier. Can we sneak in unfettered access to Cocoa Beach?
Afraid no.
MOU?
Afraid
All right.
not.
Hush.
Thank you
So,
for asking.
thank you.
That was a hard
Thank
one.
We will be back. Diana has, everybody has your numbers, so,
Great.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Hi, I'm here for 15 Park Row with Mr. Dorff. I was wondering, we're at the very end of the agenda. We're here to talk about the hours of operation. We've already done the stipulation about a month ago. I know Mr. Dorff has a pressing engagement. I actually have a child care issue. I was wondering if we could try to get out of here possibly before 7. I know it's tough.
Well, we
It's the
gave
very
you,
last moment.
that's a very interesting point, okay? You got a resolution, and now, if I remember correctly, do I have it, Jen? Do I have the stip sheet for 15 Park Row and all of this? So I will do this out of order, because I'm, 15 Park Row, it's on Seaport. Since we're on the Seaport, we might as well go to the Seaport. We'll do it before Battery Park. We gave you, well, they haven't opened, have you?
No, not even close.
Okay,
Oh, I see.
so why are you coming back?
I'm here.
I don't mean to sound so aggressive, I'm sorry.
This is CWJR. This is the
I
City
know
Winery
exactly, we know
installation-
who you are.
Installation in the old JNR premises in partnership with the JNR establishment and the buildings
lighting.
up there. I'm here with Dylan Rock, who was presented with me last time. Also here with Michael Dorff, who's the principal of City Winery. Right after we received and obtained and spent time with you and got the stipulation, Mr. Dorff informed us that we had made an error, and I'll take responsibility for that. But there's an error in the times of the closing that we entered the stipulation to. The stipulation indicated, I think, midnight,
He didn't bring the
and it
whole
needs to be 2 a.m. And Mr. Dorff is here to explain that, along with Mr. Rock, and to answer any questions you have.
11 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week.
Right.
That's what we gave you.
That's
So
correct.
tell me what you are asking.
We're asking for 2 a.m. across the board.
No,
No?
you're not gonna get it. Okay, I'm sorry. That's why we talked about it, that's why we did it. Let's be real clear. You have to give us 1 year of operation to see how it goes before we will change anything. That's our procedure. We had a whole discussion around this. This is what we did. You agreed to it. There's no mistake, certainly not on our part,
Certainly not,
okay? So,
but there was on our part.
well, I can't help you on
Well,
that.
that's what we're here for.
I know, but we're not gonna do it.
No.
I'm sorry, we're not going to. We're not going to change it.
There's a residence right above your establishment.
Yeah, the residence owners have asked us to stay open later.
Okay, I'm gonna present this to the committee, all right? We'll see what they say,
Can we
because they
talk
have.
about the weekends?
Yes, I'm going to present something.
Thank you.
All right. On Friday and Saturday night, would we be willing to go to 1 a.m.? Not 2, 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday night. Do I have a consensus?
I say yes. Even I agree on that.
Why did we say 12 to be
I don't remember, we were probably,
because
we were concerned about, but I have no trouble with Friday and Saturday till 1 AM.
We only requested 12. That was our error.
That's
we
what-
didn't,
that's
we didn't
what
come
they
in
did.
asking for 1 or 2. and
That's
you
all
agreed
right,
to 12.
Joel.
That was
So,
our error.
we will give you till 1, we will not give you till 2.
And then in a year, we'll come back and.
That's correct.
If we're on our best behavior.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
No complaints. It might not even be behavior, sometimes it could
It's
just
not
be
your behavior
the
I'm worried
noise
about.
of the
I know who,
establishment, natural noise of it bothers the neighbors
and
at
I know
certain
who you
times.
are, cause I've been to
So,
your
yeah,
place,
so-
so, where you are already.
About musicians coming in and out, right, the noise.
Right, we
and-
talked about that.
That,
Right.
those kind of concerns.
I wasn't here.
I don't think we need to do a new
We-
You wanna
section.
we
do, you wanna
can-
change
we
the
can-
stipulation?
We're
We
gonna
can
change it right here.
one line it and
We'll
and
do it right
initial.
here, and
Okay.
we'll and I will stamp it.
We will.
Is that fair enough?
That's fine.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks for having us early.
What I need you to do is to initial,
Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
initial and I will also take an image of it.
you can take a picture, and I don't need to do anything, all right?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna continue with the Seaport, and then we'll go back to Battery Park, since I'm on the Seaport. Your renewals, yeah. One is Malibu Farm is withdrawn. Are there any questions on the renewals? Mariami, 33 Peck Slip, anything, look at the renewals. May I ask you, you can take your chair off the table, I mean, just move, you at the end. Are you a member of the community board, or I don't know you? Yeah, you could move, please. Sorry. Anything?
Okay.
Are we okay? The Fulton 95, all right? Is anybody here from 95 South Street, Building G? Okay. Tell me what the alteration
So
is.
the alteration is, at the existing premise, this is the one operating as the Fulton, the Jean George Restaurant.
Yeah,
It's increased seating in the ground floor outdoor area, sorry about my voice, the outdoor area with an additional bar out there to service the outdoor area that's 13 foot by 9 foot. It's small, the footprint is small. If you've been to the space, it's very large. They can't get from the indoor bar out there to service the outside, that's all it is.
I have been. Has anybody else been? Any other problem with it? Can I have an approval? Yeah, I do. I want us all to vote on it.
Yes. Any opposition?
I'm sorry, abstention, fine. Go for it. You want to give me the other one? You
Oh,
want me to
sure.
redo this?
No. In the past, when we've done this, you've asked us to just have a current principal re-sign,
Yes,
notarized, so I'll
that's-
do that and then send it back to you.
Yes,
Okay.
I trust you, you know that.
You can
Barbara.
initial it, and she can, you can
As
just
the attorney, you don't mind if I initial it?
No, and I'll
initial
notarize
the,
it.
one line, whatever changes made.
Where's my
Actually,
notary?
no changes actually happen here, because there's no specifications about seats or numbers of bars.
We'll put it in the,
Okay.
comments.
So,
And then I'll notarize it. You can take a picture, Barbara. All right?
Initial and date.
Is it on already?
Yeah, but it's not,
It's not as strong.
raise
It's
the
not.
temperature and then lower the temperature.
Can you tell me? Let me know if it's changing.
Oh, we can't see.
No. You want me to try from here? Oh, it's okay. Oh, never mind. I got it.
Barbara, what's your other one?
it's, 76 Trinity. No, my voice will keep up.
Date it.
Sure.
You.
And I'll notarize it. All right, so, I'm looking at Peck Slip. There was a change of.
Yes, notarize.
Yeah, I'm gonna notarize it and sign it. I'll do it there.
Alright, we're going back to Battery Park City, or we're going to start back?
We're gonna go back to Battery Park City.
Susan,
Yes.
you have so many people here from Stone Street.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I will, and it's a big thing. That's fine. Thank you, Joe. I'll be delighted to do Stone Street. So who's the spokesman? Come on, Peter.
What number is it?
It's number 5 under financial. It's all outdoors, starts in March, ends in October. Am I correct?
So we can see you better.
Yeah, sure, we'll get one.
Thanks, Peter.
Of course, and date? November.
November, thank you. It's a whole summer thing. They start before, around St. Patrick's Day, and they go from there.
Start, this
Go.
year, March 14th, ending in, the end of, middle of November, November 15th.
So, Peter, just, I know there's Oktoberfest, and what are the other big ones again?
The two festivals that are associated with the permit are Oktoberfest and Oyster Festival.
When, October, we know. When is Oyster? It's the fall, too.
They're both in the fall. One is, the second week of October, and one is the last week of September, I believe.
You don't do the one in May anymore?
We don't do the one, no, we haven't done the one in May in the last couple of years.
Well, it's all of these.
And Susan,
Oh, it's for all.
It's for all of them.
Oh, I
I
understand.
think also because they really don't participate in Santa Claus.
No, they
We do not.
they'd stopped.
Yeah,
No,
they
they're
stopped.
they're very since those of us they're very good neighbors, and we can
Ever since
complain
they
and
brought that
carry
big
on.
thing down the street, that
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
like
yeah.
6 years ago or 8 years ago, it never
So,
happened again.
any problems?
So this would only be,
St. Patrick's Day this year is during the week, so I don't. This past St. Patrick's Day was really hefty and it was very tough to deal with.
Don't you think we
Happened
should?
to be a Saturday after because Sunday
well, all
was
of
St.
them.
Patrick's Day.
So don't
we did
you
the
think-
parade
Yeah,
on the
let's make sure we
Saturday. It
make-
was just
you
a
have
trifecta
pointers
of
so I can
so
put them on
many
the reso.
people. And this year, I feel St.
What do you
Patrick's Day
mean?
is just gonna be a normal day. You know, slightly
Like,
busy, slightly busier than normal. Parades during the week on a Tuesday,
never
so
mind. Forget what I
I don't
said.
foresee the weekends don't
Forget what I said. It's okay.
generate maybe 5% increase. You know, nothing crazy.
She-
what are the street boundaries? Stone between what
she's a
again?
public-
Coentus Slip and
Better
Hanover
sign in.
Square.
Karen or Jean?
It's Stone Street and Mill Lane. The permit covers Stone Street and Mill Lane between Hanover Square and Coentus Slip.
So all these bars have some face
Yeah,
the streets in some way.
correct. They get the equivalent of their storefront left to
So
right.
will there be a time where all these bars will all have outdoor alcohol sale
They-
at once?
Yes, they do outdoor dining and drinking
They
at
have
once.
they have
They have stanchions to separate each other.
do any of them have I think some of them have sidewalk cafes, or it's not necessary there, right?
No.
It's tables.
Tables in the
Right,
street,
right.
and everyone gets their 50% of the street left to right of their storefront.
You look for last prior
So
approval.
what's the difference between that and this?
That and which?
Which
and what
and
you're,
which?
and what your the alteration you're asking for? What's existing now?
There's nothing, actually our licenses read to it, but the SLA likes us to come and show that the license is being extended to that particular area.
So it's
Although all the licenses are covered in that area to begin with, but they
so
just like us.
it's kind of a renewal of what's existing, not
Correct.
an alteration of any hours or anything else.
Exactly. You said it perfectly.
Alright.
And this started about 3 years ago. The first 10 years, we didn't have to do this, but then the state wanted this to be done.
All right, let's see what the bulk has to say.
Any problems?
Well, so.
Ask.
Shakers outside, what time are they turned off? When you have the
What time? I
events?
mean, we can turn them off at 8 o'clock. Is that
I think
good?
9 and, well,
8, 9. I mean,
What was in the
whether
past?
it's 8 or 9, it's fine. It doesn't really matter at that point. I mean, the sun goes down because it's in October. It's not. and
8,
it's-
let's
and it's
do
fine.
8.
That's fine.
Speakers will go off on
No
those
problem at
3
all.
days at 8.
on
Are
what
there members
days?
from the public here to talk on this?
Susan, on what days?
No, this for the 2 festivals. It's
For the 2
Oyster Fest-
festivals, for the
for the Oyster Fest
October and the
October
Oyster.
October,
Yes.
Fest.
Oktoberfest and
Sorry?
Oyster
Oktoberfest.
Fest.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, if any of these bars apply for the one-time 24-hour license, would that apply to this outdoors?
I don't, no, I mean, actually, it's a good question, no one's ever asked us that. I didn't even know you could still apply for the 24-hour license.
They have the one day, you
Yeah,
could do New Year's
one
Eve
day,
or whatever.
but, I mean, it certainly doesn't have to and it won't. We close up at 11 o'clock all the time anyway.
We should note that though.
All right, Jen,
Mm.
we'll
Yeah.
note it. Okay,
They should return to us if they're gonna be doing a 24-hour license outdoors.
yeah,
Never
they
thought
don't.
of that.
No, you won't get approved, so don't even try it.
Created a monster.
Thank you, Mark.
We already
No.
heard you can't do it outdoors.
So that's it, all right.
It's not gonna happen.
All in favor, can I,
Because this is a separate license.
Everybody
I know.
vote.
Okay.
all right, Peter, thank you, thank you.
He's wonderful, thank you, he's great. Says hello to everybody.
Good, give him our best. Okay,
What's the question?
we have,
No, we have a copy.
don't we have a copy
You
of all
should.
of
The
that?
SLA is supposed to send this to us. Yeah.
We do. Susan.
No one's ever asked us that
We,
before.
no one has ever asked us that.
Yeah,
No,
that's
the
what
resolution will be the proof that you were here.
Okay, and we'll have it.
Yeah.
All right, don't worry.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we got rid of a group and people can come in. All right.
What did she ask? To sign
These,
something?
yeah, to sign something to these papers or
This is
whatever.
what she meant, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. We didn't need to sign that.
No, we've
Okay.
never, she had other papers that she wanted
I
us
just
to
reviewed this
sign.
application though.
Who did?
The woman who just left, we never,
We never did that before. No one's ever asked us that, unless the SLA is doing something new.
unless the
For-
SLA, and then we
for
can find
request of
out.
Okay, I
appearance.
just made copies of these, just provide examples. I think this is what she meant though. Notice of appearance.
Yeah,
I don't know, we have to
I mean,
investigate
they should
that.
have known though.
yeah, we're going to
We
do
have to
a
investigate.
resolution
Let's investigate.
for
They
all
should
of
have
it.
known, but if
We have to investigate
and
that.
okay.
So I'm not gonna sign anything. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm as confused as you are at the moment. I mean, I've done very well today, so don't mess with me. Let's do, I wanna go back, we're doing all the alterations first, okay? That's what I'm trying to get through. Let us go to,
Oh, can we call it 121 Hudson Street, Mr. Chow?
yes.
Corporation?
Because I would like to go from Seaport, which we've done, and Stone Street, before I have resolutions. I want to do all these corporate changes and alterations very quickly. I would like for 121 Hudson Street to explain to me what you're doing.
Come on,
121 Hudson Street?
Yes, it's under Tribeca.
renewals.
It's a renewal.
It's actually two corporate change as well.
Yes, that's why I've asked them to come in. There are two of them.
So the initial application was filed, or the initial notice was filed by our firm, Buckman Law Firm, to report a corporate change, which is, well, I'll get into the details, but the renewal notice was actually subsequently submitted as a matter of course by my client. I didn't realize they were submitting it. I frankly didn't realize that that particular license was up for renewal. So you did receive two notices. It was more an error between our firm and our client. We probably should have included them on the same form, but they are two separate applications being submitted separately. The corporate change application is simply an internal reorganization for business and tax reasons. There was a divorce. Previously, it was a very simple structure whereby the entity for this particular restaurant was owned by Michael Chow and his former wife, Ava Chun Chow. And as a result of their divorce settlement, he became the 100% owner of the entity. And then more recently, in the last couple of weeks, they did he did an internal reorganization for tax reasons, incorporating some holding companies in between. He remains as the 100% owner at the top of the structure. I can show you an organizational chart that
Do
we
you have
created.
the application that you sent to SLA?
I do,
Can I see it?
sure. the pages that are on their side are the organizational chart that shows you the before and after picture.
That's for you.
No.
So that's for the corporate change?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then the renewal application is just a simple renewal application. They haven't changed the operations. They've been in business for at least 15 years.
I know.
They haven't had any complaints or any issues that they're aware of.
That's true.
Yeah,
So it's just an everyday renewal application.
Okay. So,
there's been a couple of neighbors that have complained, but the thing is, they have a loading dock, so it's not a sidewalk cafe, and sometimes it gets noisy and closes a little late.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know people across the street when I run into them, ask me about it, and I tell them, well, we have no jurisdiction because it's a platform, not a sidewalk cafe, but I know it's something we can just bring back to them.
I certainly can.
Yeah.
Do you know if anybody's actually notified them of those complaints? Okay.
I don't know. It just came. So he's changing. I see. So from this to this, right?
okay, yeah.
From this to the holdings, and still 100%.
Yeah.
No other
Correct.
partners.
Nope. No new
No
parties in
new
interest.
partner changes. Okay.
No.
All right.
All right, so can we just give it our okay, everybody? All right, done.
Super. Thank you so much.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome. So, under the Tribeca renewal, I have, that I'm concerned about is 221 West Broadway.
I don't think it goes on.
Are you here? No. Okay, that's
Town
fine.
Stages is not here.
No.
Isn't that
We'll deal with that, but we don't have to get into that right now. They're not here.
We'll do a resolution on it at the end.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll show up.
let's
Maybe.
see.
Give them a chance.
Anything else on the renewals at Tribeca? I think we're okay. Oh, I totally, thank you, Karen, that's my biggie, and I have all my information. Karen, I blitzed. That's it, come on up.
Good evening, Alex Victor, I'm the attorney for 396 Broadway, Bridgeton F&B Management. This is Dan Giddings, well-respected restaurateur. He's overseeing the food and beverage. We're here for an alteration application. There's no change to any aspect of the method of operation. I was asked to bring 15 copies of...
Pass them down, yeah, we'll take a couple.
Okay.
3 up here.
What I did separately, it might just be easier. There's 4 sets of these. I'll pass these out. These are color copies, so it's a little easier to see. The orange on the left is what's been approved. What's on the right is the
Where's my
proposed.
resolution from them?
Give me a moment.
I'm sorry. Well, I have 4 copies of the color ones. I have 15 copies of the entire package.
Do you have a bunch?
Those are all
I
black
made a few
and white.
copies because the printer ran out of ink.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
but it's
To
not,
share,
those
so-
are in color.
Give me, Mark and I are gonna share one. I don't see mine, I'm not. All right,
I'll pass them out.
okay. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you to share
Yeah,
these
this is here. This is
resolutions
fine.
that we approved on January 23rd, 2018. They're coming down,
Okay, yeah.
because our printer ran out of ink, and that's why I couldn't give you each a copy. Yes. Seriously.
All the money we spend on our budget?
Joel.
The only change to the subcellar of the ceiling is to be very slightly reconfigured. The only change is the shape of the bar from straight line to the sort of funny U-shaped bar. It's in the same place, it just has seats around it, where it didn't have some.
So my biggest question, okay, I have one big question. There's no dancing, we had all kinds of stuff. Why do you want to change the rooftop? That's my question.
I'll let Dan speak more to it. The reason they want to change the rooftop is the way that the bar is next to the mechanical equipment in the middle. It makes a very narrow corridor between, I think, the elevators and the seating. And so the rooftop is going to go down from an occupancy of 195 to 150, but the bar moves further towards Broadway, and then they're putting a parapet and trees around Broadway to protect the line of sight from 395.
So they're making the roof, the the area that they're using smaller?
The original occupancy was gonna be 195, what's going to be is 150.
But are they making the usable space smaller?
I think
Can I-
overall the footprint is the same, it's just,
Can I say that we're doing landscaping to make smaller areas so that there's no large crowds, and in doing that, we're taking away square footage.
So landscaping means what?
Some trees, some fake ivy, some areas that are mossed off so that people
Hey,
aren't
guys.
encouraged to stand there.
Mitch.
Mitch,
I'm not talking, I'm
Come on.
showing you something.
So you're actually like making little zones.
We're making zones to break up crowds.
There was all seating around Broadway and around the perimeter, and here was the bar, and this is just a narrow corridor.
Show me.
So they put the bar over there, they put trees,
This is on the roof.
and then it just moves some seating.
So it's less occupancy. Do you guys get it?
but you're moving the bar closer to the residents' windows, right?
Yes. The
Yeah.
bar, I mean, the bar is moving closer to
Right.
Broadway. The one residential building is across Broadway.
So that's where everyone's gonna go and say, "Give me a beer," and they're gonna hear it, right? More than they would now.
They're going to order from the bar. There's also a service bar on the other end, so if there's wait service to all the tables, it'll come from that service bar. You know, we didn't get into the whole details of the sound study, and I know there's flaws in every sound study, but what we did do in 2017 is a study that assumed all 195 people would be on that Broadway side, and then had the levels set, assuming that sort of worst case scenario, so that everything else would be within limits. Yeah.
So there's what, 20 seats moving to the Broadway
Stop,
side?
I can't, yeah, she will.
There's 20 bar seats moving to the Broadway side.
Yes.
There are some other buildings besides the one across the street at 395, there's a 388. Those buildings are low, and so the people in wing, was it 86, and Commander and Tower building are gonna get this full on, because there's nothing blocking.
Can I speak to that?
I think that's why he's putting the trees and stuff up. I'm just telling you,
I
Karen.
don't know that that's enough.
Can I?
The roof has also been operational since September. There have been about 25 events. I know that Dan has given the hotel's manager's phone number to that building. Other folks in the community, or the block, the Walker Street Association.
Nina Schwab has come by, introduced herself. I think she's from White Street. And can I just address that?
Please, go right
I would
ahead.
love to do it. Right now, what exists is a large area where a big group of people could congregate together. And my intention with the concept is to make small areas in a much more sophisticated, intimate setting instead of a large beer hall. So I think if you look at the design to have the mechanicals there, instead of having a big area where people could just all cram together, it actually dissipates the problem on Broadway more than if you had nothing there, because then it would be the largest spot for everybody to gather in mass.
Do you have the roof current conditions map?
I'm sorry?
Roof, this is the proposed, right?
This is the plan that's.
What's the one that exists now?
Yes, that.
This one?
No.
Yeah, what's the ones that exist now? Yeah, I didn't see that in this packet.
What's that?
I didn't see that in the packet.
I went sort of sequentially from
Oh, all right.
existing to proposed.
Oh, I see, so it's in the front, okay.
So here the bar was in the middle.
Right, yeah.
And then this was all seating here.
Right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, it was here, over here somewhere.
Yeah. Any,
And again,
Mitch, yes.
these changes make the occupancy drop from 195 to 150.
Mm-hmm.
Less people, less events.
Susan, there was one on,
Not necessarily.
one of the
Yeah, I'm listening.
on the, well, it's technically Page Street, but it's the front of the second sheet on the whereases, and it was applying to what the applicant's acoustic analysis conclusion that typical voices on the roof would be masked by ambient noise. It's like they're basically saying that the voices won't bother anybody because they'll be masked by other noise. It defies logic. So like that, I mean, and we didn't go with that because but the thing is, that's their position, that the crowds gathering on the roof, their voices won't bother anybody because there'll be other noise that cover that.
Well, there is noise from Broadway and Canal
No, but,
Street.
yeah, but that's not, on the street.
I'm not the sound expert, so I can't
You know something?
fight with you.
Neither am I, but you don't have to be a sound expert to know that that's just total hogwash. I mean, that's a, yeah, of course, if an ambulance was on Broadway or there's a people having a fight on Broadway, you're gonna hear it, but the street, from the street, that's gonna mask the rooftop, which is going into the other apartments, like across from that, defies logic.
But you're saying you're not an expert, but you're saying according to the applicant's acoustic analysis, so it's your word, it's his word, it's
No.
your word, you should have an expert come and do it.
We did in 2017 when he was here to
You
present
can find an expert
the
in anything,
rooftop.
in any
What's
case,
an
it's
OP
the-
license?
In any event,
On premises.
And the building.
So they,
is,
we rejected it and the SLA gave it to them?
Broadway at this moment.
We rejected the rooftop, I think if I recall, initially.
Because we have massive demolition right across the street
Yeah,
from Franklin
for alcohol,
Street.
yeah.
We have the.
What are they doing up there now?
Carryings on at the Blood Manor, which you all know will be discussed next week.
Next, yeah.
Next month, I mean, which
In the further, in 2
which
weeks.
I can hear, in fine resolution on the 11th floor. And there are more residential people coming on board all the time. Today I leafleted to try to get people not to come to the Blood Management. I went to 9 buildings, all of them large on Broadway. Broadway is no longer simply a commercial strip. Every year there is another conversion. So right now there's 395 right across the street, there's 388 down the block, and then there's Mandarin Tower, which is, 376 Mandarin Tower. Okay. And then there are people in my building, 366, who have lots of northern exposure. Everybody in certain apartments has northern windows. I'm not one of them, but almost everybody outside of my line has it. So we're talking hundreds of people, theoretically, who could be exposed to additional noise.
Well,
So-
right, but what I would like to know is, do you have any complaints now about the
I have
configuration
not,
as it exists?
no, I have not heard anything.
And we
And
don't
they're
have any.
proposing to make it smaller, they're gonna have less
I
capacity.
understand.
However,
Well, but closer to, maybe closer to Broadway. I didn't hear what kind of, beside the trees, what kind of baffles, if any, are being set up? Are you,
it was the parapet and the volume of the music. I have the same study that was done before.
Did you say you were raising the parapet?
No.
No.
There's gonna be the parapet behind the trees on Broadway.
As it exists now, the parapet is there already.
It exists now.
And so you're just adding the trees?
We're adding trees because it was a request from the co-op or the condo across.
No, the trees weren't there for the noise necessarily, it's for line of sight.
the trees are new, the trees are new. Yeah, and I think what I'm asking is there something else that you could insert, say, on one side of, well, I guess people sitting there wanna see the trees. So in back of the trees, to add maybe to the parapet as an additional baffle going around the area.
Screen absorbing,
Absolutely.
noise absorbing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
building landmark
That would be.
Was that?
is the building landmark.
It is.
Well, I don't know.
But it's
I mean,
something
I'm not-
temporary.
It,
Can't do it.
what I can say is,
I think
you have a
can.
guy that's here
There
that
is
looked
a
at the
parapet wall.
rooftop plan
Mhm.
that said we can make it less people, bring the likely impact of the roof down from what exists. They've been open and operating, they've had, it says about 25 events. And so far there haven't been issues, and we're doing something to make it less likely in our minds to create
Obviously, this
issues.
configuration
How
works.
many people were at the events and what hours they were?
I do. The ground floor, I believe we did not give you a rooftop patio.
Correct.
Am I correct? You walked out on us, if I remember.
I wouldn't put it like that, but
But
we
you
did not
did.
give us the rooftop
No, we
patio.
did not give you the rooftop patio. So you had 10 to 1 Sunday to Thursday and 10 to 2 Friday to Saturday. And what do you do on the roof? What did SLA give you or did they not give you? Or what, since we didn't give it to you?
I think it was something right in the middle.
Well, let me know.
I'll tell you, I have a printout of their license that,
So, we denied the roof,
Yeah.
and SLA gave it to them.
You rejected the roof for alcohol.
And so now you're serving alcohol.
It's okay, you got approval
Yeah.
from the SLA?
Yeah, I mean,
Are you
was,
or not?
I was not a part of the project then, but yes, we are, and we are approved by the SOA. I just,
think
I
the
just,
roof was
I just
11
want to
12.
say that if
I
we can reasonably put baffles, then I will do it. I think that that's a reasonable request, and provided that there's no, if we can make sure that Landmarks is satisfied, then I
Okay.
can work to do that. And I don't think it has to be too expensive either.
Okay.
So,
All right, we can put that in the resolution.
I would like, there are two things. The rooftop got from the SLA, Sunday through Thursday closes at 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday 12 p.m., okay? And people must be off the roof by those times. That's what the SLA gave them.
It's just for the reconfiguration.
That's why they're here.
Because they granted, the SLA granted them a bar to serve alcohol. And when you reconfigure or refurbish or redesign, move, add seats, that kind of thing, it's alteration that needs to be approved.
So all we should be
Yeah.
talking about is the placement of the bars right now.
That's
They've
correct.
got their license.
They've got their license. They have their hours, 11 to 12 on the roof, and that's what we were concerned with. They haven't come back. They still go from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m., Sunday to Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Okay.
So,
No.
so configuration number one, placing the bar closer to Broadway. Does anybody have a problem?
That's the problem.
With the stipulation, so we can't right now say definitely with the baffles, 'cause it's a landmark building.
She can.
We will look into it and use best reasonable whatever efforts you want to put into the stipulation.
So if we could write
Absolutely.
something like they're willing to make their best efforts toward.
We'll put it in the resolution.
And baffles do not set a precedent.
we can also
Correct.
look, we can also look into other
It's
ways
not a
to do
waiver,
it, maybe
it's
with
a
future more
Everybody
trees.
for a rooftop will want
Everything that we'll hire a sound.
Right, barring
We're
the
gonna-
denial from
We'll
landlords, they're
hire
going
a
to
sound
make their best
consultant.
effort to-
Yeah.
There might be something else other than baffles that they can do too.
Yeah.
We'll be willing to listen. Yes.
And then we'll see in the landmarks.
They came to us for a rooftop license. We denied it, they walked out. Nevertheless, they went past us.
Well, they went to the SLA.
They went past us, said, okay, we'll do it ourselves, we don't need you. They got the license, now they're coming back before us, and they're asking us for help on getting, the furniture or the noise
But wait a minute.
repositioned.
Wait, I want to say something, all right? Because in all fairness to all of it, the SLA read our resolution, and the SLA gave them reduced hours. Whatever you want to say, and they have complied with it. Whatever,
I
right?
just don't like that you didn't walk out, but okay.
Oh, yes, you did. I remember.
I remember it really well too.
Okay, so that's all right. I'm not holding it against you. But done. All right. So I have no trouble with this, all right? And I would like to propose that we approve it. And they will do their best to see what landmarks will allow them on this one special case instance. We have to put it in the resolution because I don't want people coming back to us saying they can get extra. That you will do the best of your efforts
You
to
want me to make it
mitigate.
even more difficult for you for the next person? See, the only reason we went to the SLA is because at that time there was no 500-foot rule.
Now
And
there
now
will be.
is, yeah.
That's right. That's correct.
And we're reducing our occupancy on the
Yes. Reducing occupancy, 500-foot rule, all of it.
One final question, I didn't hear the answer, you may actually have stated it. What kinds of events do you have?
Birthday parties, anniversaries. The main intent of the roof is to use it as a place for people to gather separately. But my intent is to not have groups of 10 or more. What I want to do is to create a space where you can have 2, 4, 6 people, have a space for conversation, and avoid a mass beer garden. And the space is long and thin, so it really lends itself to taking advantage of that instead of making a big open space.
So, in all, can I have an approval? All in favor?
Put some language in there,
We will.
saying that let me think for a second, saying that, despite our rejection that the OP license is granted on the roof, and with that being said, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Or recommending.
Yes. And the approval of the SLA for these hours, and I want us to make sure of the
We're not
hours.
we're not changing any
Okay.
hours.
All in favor? Opposed? Joel? Abstain, Karen, or opposed?
I'm since I vote separately.
Public?
I'm abstaining.
You're abstaining?
You're abstaining.
Or no?
No, I'm in favor.
She's in favor, public. Okay, done?
Thank you. Done. It's all history.
That's
Water
right.
under the bridge.
All right?
Thank
Vodka under the bridge.
Yeah.
I like Mark's idea, man.
Okay, one more, let's keep moving right along. I'd like not to be here forever. So we have nothing more on renewals.
No, you have 75 Murray.
Pardon me?
We did 370 Canal? Or she's talking renewals now.
Are they here?
No, we're going back to 375 Murray.
We're going back now to Battery Park. I don't think we have any issues on renewals.
I don't know. Who's from Battery Park?
You are?
Someone's here.
For what? Yes, yes,
Yeah. Should they vote? So they have to wait.
yeah.
It's an alteration.
What's your alteration?
Come over here.
Please. I'm sorry, everybody, but if we don't do the alterations, they'll get away from us. And then we get screwed.
Yeah.
Pardon my
Yes,
language.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you know me.
My
You're
name
lucky
is-
I'm, yes, go right ahead.
My name is Topher Bertol Medford. I'm the Director of Operations for Seymour's.
Yeah.
We've put in an application for an alteration. We have a lunch annex that is part of our main dining room. It is the
didn't bring
glass
anything.
windows that you see along
asked her.
250 Vesey Street. We are putting in an alteration to turn that into a tequila bar, a kind of a small, intimate speakeasy tequila bar. Our plan is there is actually an existing bar. I believe the location prior to us was using that space as a bar.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you because I think you're going to have to come back because I have nothing in front of me to work with and to see what you're doing. So I need.
My apologies. My attorney Bookman said that.
Well,
I did
tell
not bring anything.
Max.
Yes.
Tell Max that we like him very much, but I needed. It's a whole new system. I need you to provide me
Yeah, of course.
us.
No, we have the schematics. We have.
That's what we need before we
the
can.
mood board and the
so
whole. Yeah, of
if you'll
course.
come back in
Yeah, of
March,
course.
okay?
Is it this type of alteration? I mean, we'd need to see floor plans, and you're
Yeah,
talking
all
about
of-
bar space.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All of that is in,
It's,
in
All right.
our
it's
application.
Fair
not that
enough.
innocuous.
Absolutely.
All right.
My apologies for not.
No,
Do
and
you
our
have anything pending at the SLA yet? The application,
We are simultaneously putting that application in as I was.
All right, so you tell your attorney, we know Max well, that
Tell him.
not to let the clock start ticking, that you'll reappear with everything in March.
in March, okay?
All right,
Thank you very much.
We'll send you an email to remind you.
Okay.
Do we have your email? Do we have his email? Don't we?
It is on. It's listed on the signage.
Okay.
I should have your contact information, it's fine.
All right,
Okay,
thank
thanks.
you.
Very much.
All right,
Sorry.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and we're starting at, the first one is Tribeca. 359's been postponed and now I have 75 Murray Street. Is somebody here? Hello, good evening.
So guys, just real quick, listen up. So you see how innocuous an alteration can be? That was for a brand new tequila bar. Not we're changing the tables around or moving the bar to one side or the other. So
Well, it hasn't been, and I'm thinking that we'll do it because we didn't get the information to really know. So that's why I'm asking them all to come in.
I mean, it technically might fall in the auspices of an alteration, but it sounded like it was like a brand new bar. You know, so. All
All
right,
right.
sir, you're up.
Good evening.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Michael James, attorney for the Tribeca Arts Club LLC. With me tonight is Andrew Roker and Lucinda Barry, the owners. They're currently,
Hello.
They're coming into the neighborhood not just to be operators, but your neighbors as well. They're purchasing the property. They're in lease.
Yeah,
with a
get it
lease
where it is. Yeah.
With an option to purchase, and they plan to purchase the building.
Do you have
and Lucinda,
handouts?
I do.
Right here.
You have one?
There you go. Lucinda will
Pass
be
to the committee.
operating. Yeah, they have.
They have them.
You're saying they're leasing a commercial space with the plans of purchasing
Yeah, they're in contract to purchase the building, but they have the lease right now. Right, they have the lease right now, so they're committed to being not just operators, but your neighbors in the neighborhood. They'll be here for a foreseeable future. So
Will
we
you
see,
be living in the building?
there's 2 floors full, but I don't know. I don't think you'll be living. You don't plan to live there now, or do you?
Right, there's the existing CO is commercial, but there's application in which will be approved in retail, top floor is residential, about 5.
So will you live in the building?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you will be 75
Yeah,
Murray.
she's fine.
So it's currently licensed. Broadway and Greenwich. Well,
No,
Jen's
I'm
pulling
giving
it
them
up.
all to you.
Jen's pulling it up.
Wait, let him just finish, all right, for a little bit.
We just wanna get the exact
the
location.
questions
Then we'll
are-
get it.
fine.
All right.
She pulled it up.
We're interrupting him too much. Go ahead.
So one last,
Which street
it's on
is it?
West Broadway between what and what?
No, it's on Murray.
I'm
between
sorry, on Murray between-
West Broadway and Greenwich.
West Broadway.
Does that make sense?
West Broadway and Greenwich.
Okay.
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 Across the street from BMCC?
Right across the street.
Right.
Oh, this was
Oh, across the street from BMCC is Chambers Street. You're another block away. BMCC is on Chambers Street.
This is on Murray.
Right, so he's not right across from BMCC.
It's across from Target and the
Yes,
college.
it was more.
Yeah,
it was
that's
music.
BMCC.
BCC does have a building there.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the main campus.
Yeah, not the main campus.
No.
Right, yes.
Our apologies. Keep
Okay,
going.
now we know where
Sorry,
we are.
yeah, you want to say things? Okay, great. So, yeah, this is the building here. So currently it's already licensed as the Jazz, the 75 Club, which is a jazz
Okay,
speakeasy.
fine, we know where it is.
Yeah, speakeasy. So they're coming in and we'll be doing the same method of operation, the same thing. She's actually Academy Award nominated songwriter, producer, and she's a harpist as well. So this is right up her alley, and we'll be doing class.
Mental health music.
Yeah.
Every night. Where's
Yeah.
your I couldn't bring them in.
Oh, I didn't know. I would have told her to do a concert.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Let him finish, please.
Okay, so this is right up her alley. Right up passion, but also right up her alley. We will have a great manager there at all times. He's sitting right behind you. Great manager on board. His information is already in the packet as well, so you'll be able to contact him at all times. Great operators, great people, and I'll entertain any questions you have as well.
Contact you at all times, does that mean you have supplied us, are you Scott?
Yes,
And
he's got
his phone number is active at all times? Anytime? Okay.
Are people coming there for performances of music?
correct.
Okay, because you checked background.
Yeah, I
So-
was a little confused about that
so-
question.
I mean, if I'm assuming it's not gonna be at a background level.
No, so-
If they're coming for performances.
So the definition that's in there states that it would not emanate outside.
Right.
So,
Is that accurate?
so it's not, inside it won't be background.
That's our
It'll be
definition of
for
background music, as long as it can't be heard outside, then it's back into the background.
Okay.
It's consistent then,
Yes.
it's not.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
So you're saying inside it will be amplified, but
Right.
outside we will not
Right.
hear it
Right.
despite that?
correct. And there's soundproofing that was done already, because it was already in operation.
That's
There was
George's old
soundproofing.
place, right?
Right.
Okay, so there's been performances there for the last decades, and it can't be heard from outside because they have the whole place like soundproof.
Exactly.
And you would think it was a residential apartment when you walk by there.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so my only question is look at the hours of operation. Oh, thank you, Joe.
So wait, you checked off banquet hall.
Yeah,
not
what is that?
Restaurant.
So that's what it's
What's
like.
that? What's
the
what's
CO
going
does
on?
state that it's a banquet hall on the first floor. And
Right.
that's where it's kind of a ballroom actually. It's a ballroom, but
So you're gonna have dancing?
No dancing.
Do you have food?
Yes, there's food in.
What's the
They have a
public,
thing on
what's
the
the
back.
public assembly? For the
Oh,
entire
125
premises?
125 is the max. The maximum occupancy. Yeah, it's not a big ballroom when you think about it. It's
It's small, I've been there.
Yeah, it's not really. So you see the floor plan.
Guys,
If you
if
see-
5 people talking at once, I can't figure out what's going on. Please, please, please.
Fair enough.
If you
Go
see,
on.
You see the first floor plans. It's set up as a concert hall, a small concert hall. It's not really seating for eating or anything like that. It has a stage at the front. So does the lower level has stage for piano, three-piece band, or whatever the case may be. But it's set up for live music. It's not for necessarily eating. Although we do have a nice menu on the back. It's light, but still filling.
Yeah, it's there.
I personally like it. So it's a great
So the
operation.
capacity for the whole thing is 125?
Yes.
The hours that you put here, are those the current hours?
Those are the current hours. Based on the last stipulation, I did see the last stipulation, the current one. Now, I don't know if those hours can be flexible because they have been in operation for so long. We do want later hours to be able to take advantage of later events.
You'll be lucky to get these this time around. I'm sorry.
I had to try.
You want to stick with these, and you can come back and whatever. But you don't want to go further than this.
So you're a jazz restaurant, would that be accurate?
Jazz club
Jazz.
with
It's the same
food.
things, yeah, same like-
Jazz club.
That's what it was, Susan.
Do you have a kitchen?
Yes. So it's a food prep. It's a food prep area.
Food prep? No answer
It's not a full
system?
kitchen.
Just a prep area,
Yeah.
it's like a nav, yeah.
And how many
That's why
nights
it's
do you have performance?
I think Lucinda can answer.
We plan to have performances about 5 nights a week, 5 to 6 nights a week.
Do you advertise them? I've never seen.
Well, we haven't got going.
They're not in business. I mean,
Yeah, we're
they're
not
not
there yet.
operational yet. That's why they're here. Okay. Mark's filling out the
So I
stip.
need to get a few things here. You have DJs?
Yes. So the last operator did have it for DJs, and so I did. Although we didn't.
You're
discuss
saying
it,
no?
Exactly up to Lucinda, so she runs that.
I mean, there may be possibility, but not on a regular basis. No, we tend to
No.
do live music.
So you're gonna promote these events and have cover fees?
So, can I answer that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The way that it's operated now is that he does have promoted events, he does
Mhm.
have cover charges, he does have those things,
Right.
and so I want to give him the leeway. I want to give him the leeway to do that.
They're
If
gonna
that's
do
how
that?
he's been
Yeah.
operating in
So
this
it's gonna
neighborhood.
go
And
forward.
at this
We're
point
gonna
in
put
time-
it in.
Right,
We're
I'd
gonna give
rather-
you
I'd rather keep
the
it
benefit
same
of the
level.
doubt, and if you
Yeah.
misbehave, we'll punish you. Okay.
Right.
Right, so you'll have a doorman? Do you have a doorman?
Yes.
Yes, and,
Yes, security.
now, when do you intend to receive, goods and services supplies? When are they gonna be delivered to you? What hours?
I guess what the existing hours would be, which would be.
What is
Yeah,
it?
what were the existing hours? I think it was in the morning.
It's
What
got to be
time?
usually.
Yeah.
7 a.m.
It's,
Yeah.
what we say 7 a.m. is
Right.
Not
7.
before 6?
Yeah.
Not before 6, not before
Not before
7?
Not before
Okay, okay.
7. 7 to noon or whatever it is. Okay.
Done, are you done, Mark?
And do they have French doors there?
No.
Alright,
We
so,
won't have them open.
sidewalk cafe, you gonna want one?
No.
So we need to talk about the hours.
The hours we agree.
What's here, what
Yeah,
they're
but-
requesting?
Yeah.
That's the current hours. 11 to 1, 11 to 2.
There, it's now, currently, the guy has till 2,
Yes.
correct?
On Friday, Saturday.
On Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2. It's up to us. Miriam, you have a question?
Maybe just clarification, like an establishment like this, isn't it best for them to go ahead and check off everything? If we already determined that the whole building is soundproof and we can't hear anything from outside, what does it matter if they have a DJ or if somebody's dancing or
I don't have
whatever
any trouble. I
inside?
mean, I didn't ask the
understand.
question. I don't have any trouble. I think that's correct.
Well, my question is, what do we do for new establishments on the hours? Forgetting that whatever was there, isn't too pushing it? For a new establishment that's on 6 months old?
I understand it, but a lot of times it they haven't existed before. This is not a new place. This has been here in the community a long time.
They're following the same business plan
It's
that
a
has been working.
Thank you,
method of operation.
Megan. And it is soundproofed. I've got my people here who have lived there, have been there. I'm willing to give them a shot. All right, if we have complaints and when they're up for renewal.
What existed there.
That's right.
You told me it was a jazz club because
So-
I just heard nothing on my way to Whole Foods.
And I would put in the resolution that this has been existing and the building is soundproofed and that's why.
Similar method of operation as previous owner.
But we
Okay.
do wanna discuss outside. So we wanna discuss outside. So people go outside to smoke, and we need you to make sure that you have someone who's dedicated to controlling the people who are outside, so they're not screaming and yelling, and they don't expect it to happen, but, you know,
We'll have
so
a
that they're
doorman at
aware.
all times and also somebody inside that's, you know, in the foyer area.
Well, garbage should be a normal, okay, I mean, it's already been an existing business.
All right,
I don't
Jen,
expect them
you
to
got
do
that?
more garbage than what used to be.
We understand.
Anything else? So, Mark's doing the stip
I just need you to sign it.
and then I'll notarize it.
Print the name, print phone number.
And the
sign
phone where
date.
we can reach you on a 24-hour basis. Here
All
she
right.
comes.
Well, I wrote everything else in, so.
Here
just,
she comes.
Review it and let me know if you need. You wanna review it?
All right, all in favor? Anybody against?
I
Joel?
wanna know when they're opening.
Here the hour.
Okay, all in favor.
in favor?
And Karen?
Probably
All in
about
favor.
6 months ready for the jazz club, yeah. Renovate.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank
Hold
you.
on. Same
Welcome
here.
to the neighborhood.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel. I think we're doing very well, Joel.
Who's he talking about, Jeff? There's no Jeff. Now I get it.
I get it, you know, he's just giving me a hard time, but I,
Don't call the next one till you notarize.
okay. I can't call the next one till I notarize.
You just love your stay outside.
Okay.
Just stand by it so you can take a photo.
Okay. Yeah.
Alex, leave a pair of glasses here. Anybody find a pair of glasses?
No?
Good luck.
I'm just gonna scan that.
Oh, okay. All right,
Just my phone.
he has one. Did you take a he took a copy. He'll get it to
No,
you.
I was gonna take a better copy. I feel like a better app in my thing.
Whatever makes you happy. I'm fine.
Definitely the 24-hour phone is first.
Okay, you can have this. All right, so, we've been postponed, so we're going next to, I'm gonna tell you where we are. We are, financial. The first one's, 76 Trinity, ground floor.
Okay, wait.
Thank you.
This is on,
Thank you. This is Trinity between Rector and, what's the other country, Rector and Tenth?
Thank you.
Do you know where the,
Rector and Temp. Oh, between Rector and.
there's a high rise going on, 27-story building across from the church.
Okay.
So, just to be clear, 76 Trinity LLC is a subsidiary of the Trinity Church. It's wholly owned by the Trinity Church. They, the building 76 Trinity also has an entrance on Greenwich Street, just, it's a block-through building. It's in
Wholly
construction.
owned or wholly?
Wholly owned.
Holy.
Yeah.
W and H.
It's, when it's finished and, being constructed. It used to be 2 separate parcels. Lower buildings that were owned by Trinity.
Is it this?
Yes, but I don't know
No,
what
it's
you
on
can
the
make
other
up.
side, isn't it?
No, this is, no, it's the green side. It's where
It's
the
the right
scaffolding-
side.
So it's next to the American Stock Exchange? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But you're probably thinking of the Greenwich side, right? This is the Trinity side.
No, no.
Oh, you're
I
thinking of the
live
Trinity
on
side?
the corner.
Okay.
That's why I wanna know exactly where it is.
So there's a 27-story building going up there. Just to give you a little background so you understand the context of this cafe.
Yeah.
We're asking to open a cafe eatery on the ground floor. Hours are 8 to 9 p.m. There's no outdoor space. Background music only. There's not even a stand-up bar. There's a food counter where they go to order, but we're counting that as a stand-up bar for licensing purposes. The dining area for the public is only 721 square feet, 11 tables, 24 seats. It's an amenity to what will be the future tenants of that building. Floors 1 through 5. Anyone can go there. The menu looks quite good. So if anyone, they're not interested in keeping the building open for that much longer. There's, it's going to
Never
be
mind.
commercial tenants on floors 14 to 26, and the
Okay.
church commons on floors 1 through 5, offices. So the building won't be that lively past 9. So if there's a demand for it, we'll come back in a year and you'll give us longer hours. That's what we'll do. So for now, the building will open, I think, floors
It will
1
be
through 5
hours.
first. The commons will be a public space for the church. They'll have
Yeah.
public events and speakers and whatnot.
Not a
The
problem.
6 through 13 will be Trinity offices, and then it'll be commercial offices.
Good thing you have Barbara. She's used to us. Any questions?
Is there a residential building here? Is this a residential building?
There's no residences
No.
on site.
Do we have a menu? Yeah. I want food. I just want food.
Megan has a question.
Okay, so the alcohol's not 8 a.m.
No, and within the actual questionnaire, we specify that, well, if someone wants a Bellini, we're not gonna deny them, but at Sundays
So
will
there
be
were
10 a.m.
four
open. We specify that.
Residential buildings.
It's a pet peeve, it's not important. I don't understand what the gentleman from Ocean Avenue, why his signature means anything to me, or the people from 50th,
Yeah, well,
51st Street.
when-
Just bringing it
Uh,
up.
I
as a
understand.
suggestion to anybody who's here, don't ever bring us them anymore. Anybody who doesn't live in the
Right.
neighborhood.
We'll cross
Just
them out.
cross them out.
Okay.
All in favor?
wait,
Wait.
Question.
Can I vote for it?
As a resident of Cedar Street
I
for
think so, but I
43
just wanna
years, I do not
confirm a
see
couple things here.
anyone. How
Yeah.
come it's 120 Cedar, which is O'Hara's bar, and not the residents that live at 120?
Which one are you talking about? Oh,
Where are all the names of all the people who live in my building?
oh no, that's not, that's a survey, that's a survey,
A survey of
surveyor's
what?
report of local
Okay.
on-premise
So where's
establishments.
where are the signatures?
There's a second packet in the back, that is all the outreach that was done by
But
the
there's none
applicant.
from her building.
There's none from them.
That's what
we have-
she's, there's one. You have one.
Who is it?
Joe.
There is no Joe in my building.
Joe Jacobs.
It's a pet peeve of mine, is that we lived there for 43 years and there's not one name.
So you're one of the 4 residential buildings that are in
Ocean Avenue.
proximity?
Let him come and live there. Alright, so there is only one person from my building, it's fine, including me. Okay.
When is that?
And they're closing at 9.
When is the cafe opening? December 15th.
Comment or the
You got it?
ground floors or?
If you have so, a few questions.
Okay. Mark has a few questions. Let's get through
French
this.
windows
No.
don't exist.
No.
Do you have a doorman?
No, but there's general building security, but no doorman.
Alright. When do you get deliveries? What time of morning?
The approximation at the moment is 6 to 8 a.m.
Can you-
7.
7.
We can make it 7 to
Not
8 a.m.
before 7.
Not
Okay.
before 7.
And we're okay with the hours.
Yeah. The hours are, you have them here.
All right.
Where are they? I have them down here. There. Okay.
Wait, is 8 a.m. okay for a bar?
Except on
Sunday can't open till 10.
Right, so we didn't
We're
ask
gonna
for
put
10
it.
a.m.
10 a.m. We'll put it in. We saw it.
So when are you opening?
May 6th, although the cafe, that's for the community center.
This is the catering. Yeah.
This ignore, right?
Yeah,
And if we
it's
don't have a
10.
license, because the backlog, they'll
Friday,
open
Saturday,
it.
and Sunday?
That's a beautiful building.
Uh,
It is beautiful, yeah.
Oh,
So your bar, let's, Mark and I want to get clear. Your bar service is from
8 a.m. to 9
9
p.m.
p.m.
except on
except
Sundays.
on Sunday it's 10.
10 a.m.
Okay?
Okay, got it. Perfect.
All right. Anything else, Mark?
I got it.
Okay.
I just need him to sign.
We need you to sign, and I'll notarize. All right, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Karen? Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, you come around with me. I just wanna make sure.
All right.
Sign, knit print.
88
phone
Wall
number,
Street.
sign.
Just give me 1 minute for them to leave, and then absolutely. We're moving right along.
Oh, recording music was yes.
No nonsense.
Okay.
We're gonna do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We got it. Between us all, we're gonna deal with it. But I'm just going in order. This is not. No, that's next.
Not a signature.
No, that's correct.
That's 75. That's probably that one on the right. Yeah. A little bit more.
Phone.
Oh, here.
Okay? Let me.
Sure.
What street are we on, Jim?
So this is
80
the-
Wall Street.
This is the corner of Wall Street and Water.
Wall and water.
It's the neighbor is the new there's like a holiday it's a holiday inn, a new holiday inn, and then there's another hotel that's going up next to it. That's across the street. You're looking right now at as if you're on the south side of Wall Street looking north.
Okay.
And then that's
Where are we?
Pool on the left and water would be on your right.
You're in the where the old AT&T was.
88 Wall
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a little store you went in. That was the AT&T
fill out
store
one of these?
right on the corner. Here's a wall. Here's a water. The Andaz is right over across the street. So if you walked on Beaver and you crossed Wall Street, it's to the right.
Yes.
It's right on water and wall.
The Joe Juice is on the corner, and if you look that way from Joe Juice, you can see the
No. Yes, across the street from Verizon. I had to think about that. Yes. Okay, you're on. Yes, I live there.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Maston Sansom. I'm the attorney for the applicant 88 Wall Street. I'm here joined by Gigi and Igor. Gigi is the general manager. Igor, your title, you're in with development and, yep. The application before you is for a hotel restaurant license. The hotel has 181 rooms, total of 16 floors, which includes a cellar and a basement level. There will be a total of 3 bars. One will be in the restaurant, which is located in the basement. There will also be a cafe lounge area on the ground floor that'll include a bar as well. In addition, an event space will be on the 14th floor with a bar.
Okay, so that, so I know there was a building that's been gutted. Is that the building you're talking about? The large building on the corner?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it, exactly. The AT&T was the bottom, and then it was up. None of us ever really noticed it,
Right,
but that's it.
There was some
Okay,
offices and chiropractors
and now it's going to be a hotel.
okay, so
Who's the hotel owner? I mean, you are?
Yes, 88 Wall Street is the hotel owner.
Okay, so it's a small boutique-like hotel, whatever. Yeah. Wait. Okay.
So you're gutting the inside, keeping the facade? Or doing a complete tear down?
That building, you're absolutely right. The building was an office building that for years and years and years. Originally, this, you know, you guys know this, but this was the Taunton House, originally coffee house, arguably the stock exchange, the original stock exchange. So it's going to be an independent hotel, not associated with any brand whatsoever, but us. And we are keeping the facade. We love the facade. We've actually, if you go down there, we've spent a lot of.
Oh, we lived there.
So you've seen that.
We're in Hanover Square.
There you go. So we've
we've redone the entire facade. And all of the, on the interiors and all the new, it's all new systems. That's electrical, plumbing, mechanical, everything is brand new.
Is this where the crane is currently?
The
Are
crane
you the crane
was,
building?
the crane was there on the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, that's the building.
That's the building. Yes. Sorry about that.
Yes.
There's only 6 days, six days like that.
Did you give notification the crane was
100%.
coming? Okay. You guys knew?
Not up to us, but whatever. That's all right. Let's move right along. Mitch?
Okay, like I said, normally I never have a problem with what's going on inside. I think you guys should just look at, on the liquor license application where it says, will patrons have, what the area is owned for, blah, blah, blah. There's 2 questions that I think should be addressed. Do you intend to license a terrace, rooftop, or other outdoor space? I mean, honestly, the answer is not at this time. And do you intend to have rooftop dining? Honestly, not at this time. So I think those are things that, would be the things I think we should focus on.
Those things, if I may.
Please.
If this is approved, we would have to come back to you for such approval as an alteration to
But I-
expand the license premises.
That could be a non-starter.
We don't like
We just, like I
Especially
said.
right there, that ain't happening.
So I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
No, I think the resolution can say that
We've turned down in that area rooftops.
We have.
People have applied, we've turned them down, just to give you
Right
a
out.
heads up.
that's correct.
I know you're looking
Well,
at
so they're
her,
not,
I'm just
but
telling
we
you.
may put something in the
The noise
resolution.
travel.
Well, why don't we
It's just a
explain,
problem.
we're not,
Go right ahead.
we're not looking a bar, nightclub, anything like that. We're a hotel. Hotel has a restaurant that we don't have selected the restaurant tool yet. They'll be under us. The lobby lounge that will serve.
Fine.
So, and we're actually, the crane that you guys are talking about, is we're actually building a event, when we say event, a meeting space for the hotel. So
Up on the top floor.
that's right, that's what we're adding, so that is.
Is the roof, I'm sorry, then, let me ask again, is this an open roof or is it?
I saw. It's all here.
Okay.
Come right in.
When you say
Yeah, you can do that
rooftop,
rather
that's
than
the
me.
definition of like an outdoor.
I'm
open
quiet.
rooftop.
Why are we talking about rooftops?
The building has to have a setback, so where there is a setback of about 6
So the roof
feet.
is enclosed in the building?
Absolutely.
Okay, then
Oh, so you're not talking about roof,
That's
not
not-
about an event space,
It's
An enclosed event space. But it will, let's be very clear, okay? Because I just want to be a little transparent, all right? It is closed. It will have some outdoor. Nobody's just going to build it right on top. I mean, that's what, well, there'll be a little open space, will there not?
So the zoning.
It's okay.
The zoning has to be back, we have to be back 6 feet.
I know.
See, I mean, that's what we're talking about, so there is 6 feet on every side that's set back, there has to be, not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not totally enclosed.
It's not 100%.
Okay, I just want honesty to be.
That's all I was saying. So we're all very clear, okay?
I wasn't trying to be dishonest.
No, it's no problem, but it all,
When you have the 4th of July and other fireworks going out, and you're right there on the water, people are gonna step out there.
Yes.
that's all. I just wanted it, whatever. Okay. Don't worry about it. Just, we're gonna move right along here. So, other than, we understand you will, where it says not at this time, around, roof and, outdoor areas, that's the only outdoor area you're going to have. There's none downstairs or anything. Okay.
No liquor sales.
Well, we're gonna put that in the
Yeah,
resolution.
I mean, you can have all the, can't stop outdoor space, we only regulate.
Not on the outdoor, but,
And you have
it's,
room service too.
yeah, it's a hotel, so they have,
In the enclosed space.
in
that
the
you're
enclosed
building,
space,
we're
there
gonna
will
want
be
to able
liquor
to
up
serve.
on the roof.
Now,
But we don't want them stepping out in the outside area with alcohol.
even
Even
though
6
it's,
feet.
okay.
Alright, wait, you say you're asking for liquor licenses on the basement, the first floor, and the 14th floor,
That's all the rooms.
plus the rooms, well, that's a given. So what is this rooftop thing?
The rooftop, let me explain. because I've gotta understand it,
Yep.
all right? So the rooftop is going to be added, it's an addition.
So that's now in the application, the rooftop. That's not here.
No, no. It's there.
Where is it?
On the page.
14th.
The 14th floor is
Today the
the,
building is 13 floors.
is the rooftop.
Yes, correct, it's 14th floor.
Right.
No,
It-
guys, you have to read this, it says high-rise of 16 stories with rooftop.
Cause it said, there's a building said
Okay, I
16
just wanna make
stories,
sure I'm
that's
not
why I'm saying, why is the 14th floor rooftop
We-
at the 16th floor?
There's a cellar and a basement, and actually the cellar, the way, I don't know if it's buildings or whomever, but the cellars, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's only a few steps in between those two levels.
Alright.
But because there are steps,
If you guys have ever been into the AT&T store, that's where you stood, that was the basement of this building.
I
This
have,
building
I know,
is-
I know.
is sloped,
I'm still
so
not
that was
getting
the
it.
basement, so that's why.
Still not getting it.
So, in essence, let's just see if we can cut to the chase. You are a 16-story building. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so, your new addition will be on the 16th floor. You may not count it like that. I'm trying to understand, and that's what we're all trying to
Is your
understand.
mechanicals on the 16th floor?
The mechanicals on the 16th
Is your
floor.
water tank on the
water tank-
16th floor?
So the mechanicals are on the 16th and 15th floor, and the 14th floor is.
Okay. But it's all a new addition,
Yes.
in essence.
14, 15, and 16 are a new addition.
That's correct, with the
And they don't
14th
change.
floor being an enclosed space, event
Can we
space.
get this on the map?
Well, we have the building up.
One moment.
And the,
Adding
um,
these
Propose a
details.
33-foot bar on the 14th floor.
Okay, do
They
you
get a
intend,
3D view angle.
you do intend to allow people to go out into that 6-foot area? Off of the 14th floor, you have 6 feet
You do the,
outdoor space. Do you
Go back to
intend to
map.
allow patrons in the bar to go out there onto that 6-foot space?
The answer to that is yes.
Okay, so
and
that's a roof,
But,
okay?
but, can I?
Go right ahead.
We have the drawings here or not?
yes.
So why don't we look at the plan so we can be clear, because I think that we are not intending to be a rooftop bar. Yes, so if I can, so we want to be a meeting space. And this is the pre-function of it.
now go to
This
satellite.
this bar is to service this space. This
Click
is
on
the
the-
6
on the
foot
right there.
setback that we were discussing and talking about.
Here?
If you look, there's only one door here, so we're not, actually, our intention is not for that. You know, if we wanted to do that, we'd be putting double doors in. The
I'm
intention
sorry, what
here.
are these doors here?
Well, those are the doors.
Can you
that we
tell us
actually
what you're
have a
talking,
meeting.
sir, tell us what you're talking about.
Here's top of your building.
So this is the current top of the building, and we're adding a floor to that, plus mechanical on top of that.
So
So
where,
that's-
where are people gonna be standing without a roof over their head with alcohol?
Well, I mean,
Go right ahead.
on this side, 6 feet.
You can panoramic around.
I'm not sure we can get that, Mark.
The plan, I don't know this dimension over here, I can't quite.
Click this. There you go.
Wait, want to show you our building? Okay, so right here, so,
Thank you,
so,
And
so
Mark.
6 feet here, all the way across. I'm not
Three
su-
sides of the building.
But this is not, I mean, this is the setback. If we wanted, we would have preferred to, this
Right, so
is
you're
straight.
not calling it a
We're
bar-
not-
a rooftop
We're
bar.
not, we,
So
we,
why don't
we,
you just enclose the whole thing like Yon
we
does?
can't. We would love to. We would love to do
Yon
that.
does, dude.
We would love to do that. We can't.
No,
Yondas actually does have the similar.
they have a similar setback.
Outside, yeah.
Yes, yeah, there's a regulation in it.
Our intention is not, if we wanted to build a roof bar, we would have made this smaller and made the bar
Yeah,
bigger.
you have a 33-foot bar.
Well, that, to be honest, I mean, I've got a.
No,
No, Karen.
The thing
I don't think that's right, and I think there's a resolution, and I want to put in the restrictions we want, all right?
We're talking about, to be clear, we're talking about an 8-seat bar top, so we're not 33 feet, that seems a little, it's, I think maybe we screwed that up.
So what's the public assembly for the 14th floor, quote unquote?
Public assembly for the 14th floor is, I don't know that answer.
What's that?
No, I don't know that answer.
What's the public assembly for?
I think it's, I actually
What's
don't know
that
that answer.
noise,
We have
Jen?
2 staircases, so it's 120, 120, so
Oh, well.
it can be up to
How many
240.
seats in this conference room?
125.
So you have 125. You've got what, an
About 240.
8-seat bar, and then these are tables for seating, all in here? I mean, just give a rough estimate.
Yes, well, that's what I mean. I think the gentleman's asking how many maximum people can you have up here?
He
Well, we
is,
have
but
two-
you said you don't know, so I'm
we-
just trying to get
Yeah,
an idea of how you
the
intend to use
staircase, there are 2 staircases, so each staircase allows 120 people, but we're not.
We've actually identified them.
So, let's,
160 capacity.
the 160 is the total capacity with your little conference room and the bar. 160. That has to be in the resolution, whatever it is. All right, Mitch, you had a question.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, not saying for or against, but I just like things to be clear. On page 4, where we brought up, we intend to have rooftop dining, not at this time, but then you, in speaking, you said it's a possibility in the future, like that. And on page 8, you intend to have rooftop dining, blanket no. So both things can't be true.
I think if rooftop dining is going to be a 6-foot setback.
That's what Lisa said, that's
No,
what
I'm
we're
just
saying.
trying to find out, I'm not against you, I just wanna know what's happening.
I think you're not going to be, and we can put it in, you're not going to have rooftop dining on 6 feet. It's impossible.
Okay, so then we have to change the answer of not at this time to no.
No.
Well,
Unless
I
if
guess
they
the,
don't agree, then.
no,
things can't be
yeah, I
done.
mean, I guess the question was originally rooftop was being construed a little differently. I think the original idea was this new area, this new part was because it's on the top.
All right.
Well, then
But
you
it's
have to change the
enclosed.
second answer then on
But
page
it's
eight.
No, 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 no. In the
It's enclosed, so it's
stipulation,
not a roof.
hush, 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 please. In the stipulation, we can put, there will be no outdoor dining
And no alcohol.
and no alcohol out on that open space. Inside, absolutely, but not outside. They can disagree with it, but that's what we would like to put.
Okay, so if there's music up there, and we have the same problem, 15 William, if there's gonna be music up there, parties up there, for 160 people, the minute they open up those doors to go on the parapet 6 feet, the music is gonna come out into the neighborhood. And it will. And that's the problem we have with 15 William,
And I have
until we correct it.
with the W bar.
As Igor mentioned, there's only one door. It's
It
not a
doesn't
double
matter.
door.
If you have an entertainment space and you have a band playing up there or a DJ playing up there, the minute you open up that door, you're polluting the neighborhood.
All right, so wait,
Look, I would like to just try to address that. I mean, Gigi's our GM of the hotel. We're not here coming to you as a F&B operation, because we are a hotel first, and this is the entire proposition is for hotel and event space. We're talking about weddings, maybe? That sort of thing. We're not talking about, major parties.
I hear you.
Wedding or major parties?
No, I do, but I'm saying.
Joel.
Only so many times. It's more meeting spaces.
They're not gonna have-
I actually wanted to describe, in an event like that, there is 160 guests with dancing and music.
Don't you have a ballroom that you're gonna have in the hotel?
Absolutely. If there's something that we would
I
like
thought
to
they
offer
checked
the
off no
neighborhood,
dancing.
an opportunity to have a celebration in the property.
There is no
But the idea for this
There is no
if there is
dancing
an
up there.
event like that, we would not leave the door open. The door would be
And in all fairness to them, they did check off no dancing on the top floor there. So let's go with that, and it'll be in our stipulation, and it'll be in our resolution. What I'd like to be able to do is go to the hours, all right? And then,
I'm gonna interrupt you before I wanna make sure I understand this. We're looking at the 14th floor plan, is that right?
mm-hmm,
And I see 1, 2, 3,
That's what I was
4,
asking what these
5,
doors-
6 doors. Am I right? 6
6 doors.
Yeah, okay,
7.
7, all right, what's with those doors?
But what's with the one door? I heard one door.
I thought that.
Are they gonna be closed, are they gonna be open, do people open them at will?
Yes, yeah, that is the intention. Why are there so many doors? These meeting spaces can be divisible in 3, and you can open up the door.
You call
Yes.
it a meeting space. Are you gonna hold a wedding up there?
You can.
So it's an event.
Yeah,
It's an
I mean,
event
you
space.
I'm picturing a conference room. This is an event space.
And
Let's
meeting
call it
space.
like it is. It
Yeah.
is an event
And it's an event
space.
space with 6 doors.
Yes, on the 14th floor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 doors. So I don't know why you said 1 door. It's an event
Sorry,
space with
I
7
misspoke.
doors.
I thought you
7
were-
accesses to that 6-foot around the floor space.
Yes.
So let's talk about it in those terms, because that's
Correct.
a little bit more accurate.
So the reason that each one of these can be divisible, like when you go to a hotel, you go to big rooms.
But wait a
No,
minute,
no,
it's
we don't.
I don't know, maybe we're using the wrong
No,
terminology.
no, we got it, but this opens up to the
To-
6
yes, it does,
foot
yes.
So we have 7 doors that open up to the 6
Oh,
foot.
yes.
Okay, so that's all we wanna make clear. So people could theoretically go out there. And we're asking
Yes.
that you not let people go out there with alcohol. That's what we're asking.
Okay.
So,
How are you gonna police that?
it's up to them to police it, and
I'm
if we
asking
get
them, how are you
complaints.
gonna police it?
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely
Person has a glass of wine, they're gonna walk out, it's a beautiful night, let's look at the moon.
Well, I think it's
There's definitely measures to it.
Well, so far, you've sort of told us one thing and it's another, the door.
Well,
second
it's
door.
new.
It's a
I'm willing to,
parapet,
yeah,
it's
but,
this, it's
so
that.
there are a number of issues for us and how we do business. So let's all talk about it. Let's look at the hours. And the 14th floor is very specific to the other spaces. I have 2 other questions. We can have them close those doors like we do with windows on the street at X time. We have done that before and we can do it again. I don't have to punish them for that, but they can close their doors at 9 o'clock. All right? I mean, we don't have, and we've done that before. The other piece is how many events can you have in the hotel at one time? Because you have the upstairs and then you have like a ballroom area, do you not?
This is the ballroom area.
This is now,
That's-
this is it. So this is only one. Well, it doesn't matter, Joel. We're all here.
No, but it
Don't worry about it. It's really, don't worry about it. We've got it down.
In the restaurant down below too?
It's 137 seating capacity, but it's not, meant for, it's not an open space. It's not,
All right, so this is their event space on the 14th floor. So the issues for us before we get to the hours are closing those doors on the, to the outside, little 6-foot area, no liquor on that, to be taken out on that parapet area, whatever you want to call it, the 6-foot space. And what, I want you to look at the hours that they have asked for, please.
What page is that? What page is the hour?
So, well, no, the hours, I believe, let me see, are 7 to 2. That's food and beverage services, however, alcohol would only be served during the hours allotted by the state liquor authority.
All right,
Which
so,
would be,
okay, we know what they are.
yeah,
All right, but I want to be very clear. All right, you're a new space. You're a new outdoor space. This is a real problem for this community. So you will not get to 2 a.m. this first time around. It won't happen. All right? I mean, so the committee has to discuss where we want to go. Do we want to allow midnight from Sunday to Thursday, or make it 11 o'clock on Sundays? Do we want to leave it on Friday and Saturday to midnight, or 1 p.m.?
But these hours include their guests, the service internally.
Inside. Well,
to their
we
guests.
have to distinguish.
Right.
We have to distinguish.
Versus room service.
I don't care about room service. With the room service, they're entitled to their room service. Okay, that's your hotel guest. But the event space is what I'm talking about.
even, even
Please.
if people aren't allowed outside, so everything
No,
would
but
be.
we don't want people getting drunk and wandering out onto the streets making noise at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Got it.
This building exists in a neighborhood with residents.
Got it.
So, you know, people are going out at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to hail cabs, trying to get into, we already have enough issues with black cars and events happening in the community. And so if you now are adding essentially another event space, you're adding another space,
So-
a large venue.
All right, so here we are. Megan?
And
Oh, you want me to, I think what we, first of all, we'll cut down the hours with respect to the event space until, at least for 1 year, to see how things go. That's the first thing, what are we gonna say about that? For the events, I think the hours are okay, although, isn't it 8 AM? 8 AM, you can't start before legally.
Serving alcohol.
2
right.
AM is fine for
That's all we
room
need,
service.
alcohol service hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
but for the event space, we're gonna make it 1 or 12?
I don't remember.
I don't mind 1 o'clock. I really don't. Miriami's giving me the eye, so I can.
Does it make a difference in that the doors to the event space have to be closed and no access
it's
at a
not
certain?
enforceable. It's not enforceable.
What's not enforceable?
If you guys live, you know, and other people live in the community, they're
I
complaining.
think, let me say this, everybody. I really think there, you know, we're all struggling with living down here and what's accessible to us, all right? This is 14th floor. It's going to be closed. We can close the window, the outdoor access, you know, like we do with restaurants. It is a hotel, all right? So I really, because it is a hotel, I personally don't have a trouble with 1, all right? I would make Sunday earlier. I just would, because it is
Night before.
yeah. I'd make it to 12, all right? I don't,
Susan, can I ask you one thing about this? We had an applicant earlier before that had like a slight area where that was, you know, it was enclosed, but there was a slight opening. Could baffles in this situation
no,
work
it,
on
it, it's not structured such that it can do. It's just not gonna work there. I know the building, I know the area. So where are we?
I'm with you.
I think you've got the hours, and we just have to talk about closing the doors at a certain
Okay.
period.
So
What
the
time would that
bar,
be?
the event space will be 8 AM to 1 Friday and Saturday, okay? And do we want to do weekdays till midnight or till 1?
They're in the middle of a giant residential area. It was on the 14th floor, and that noise is gonna carry.
Joel, I think we have to give them a chance.
I want to give them a chance. I don't have to, extend it. I think there's reasonableness, all right? And I want to be somewhat reasonable. They get it. They're here. So there are 2 pieces, Friday and Saturday till 1 AM. Sunday to Thursday till midnight, at least for the first year.
This is the event space we're talking about, right?
Yes.
I think the whole building.
No.
I mean, because there's the site.
We're not talking about the internal workings of.
It's not the cellar. I'm gonna.
Sorry.
I would still do. The cellar. I give 1 to 1.
They have a lot of people.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
I understand that some people come outside too at any hour, but personally, as far as inside a hotel, I really don't care what they could sell liquor 24 hours a day.
Well,
all I do.
Well, we've given them their hours. However, I want to now just focus very quickly on the doors. All right. What on the 7 doors on the roof? What time do you want them closed?
Well, explain to them also that we have restaurants that have French doors, and we have stipulated to those restaurants that if they're in a residential community and they have to close the doors at a particular time.
Event
because they're
space.
We do at 9.
Okay.
That's why we have for
Normal space 8 to 1.
I mean, equally our concern is the more
1 to 2, I guess.
Actually, I guess.
Oh, that's true.
So it's
So
so
we
we're-
also have like,
Yes.
yeah.
Would
Mark will
cause
see. I'll
complaint
ask
if there's
Mark.
a disturbance
Well,
of the
it's a question.
So we are equally
Regular
concerned that the neighbors should not
space
be
is till
disturbed
2
by
a.m.
any events.
I think
you have a wedding.
within there,
They're
I
scheduled to
guess
be there till 2
we
AM,
can give
but
them
at
2
9
AM.
PM,
Yeah,
nobody's
within
out
the
on
hotel.
that area, and
Yeah.
those
Done.
doors are closed, correct?
We have
Can we
to see what
consider
they
that
say.
a little bit
10?
Why don't we start at
That would be
9?
the basement,
See
ground
how
floor.
things go.
How about this? When are you opening?
August, September?
So you're gonna be open in the warm weather. You know,
Not this year.
Not this year, it's the following year.
Following year.
Well,
No, but I mean,
they're anticipating August. Have you been in buildings before?
Yeah,
They'll be lucky.
It's always 3 months.
They'll get it in September. I've done this all my life, so no. So,
Will it miss that opportunity where it doesn't matter how, the kids are up?
I think, what did somebody recommend?
You said 9, but I don't mind if it's open till 10. I really don't.
I could push the 10 to 10 minutes.
I mean, we're not anticipating you being open, the doors being open till 10, and you're gonna be monitoring. You're gonna be
Of
making
course.
sure people are not screaming and making lots of
Like
noise.
Gigi said, we've got residences right below us.
guests below it too, so
Because people will complain and it will get back to us.
All right, so, we'll all vote according to how we feel. We will give you till 10. All right, the consensus seems to be to 10, and I would give you a 9.
Megan said 9.
Megan wasn't clear. Are you gonna, don't put her on the spot.
Put her on the spot.
I will vote, I prefer 9, but I'll go with 10.
I'm willing to give you till 10. If we have difficulty, okay, I'd like to call the question.
We'll go over the hours again.
Okay, so let's go over the hours. 8 a.m. for the event space every day. And on weekdays, it is from 8 a.m. to midnight. And it is with the doors closed at 10 a.m. on the upstairs. Weekends, Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1, but the same closing time. 10 o'clock doors close.
And then within the bar, it's 8 to 2.
8 to 2 was
I mean,
what we had
that would be
requested.
the basement and ground floor, right?
Yes. But upstairs, it's those hours, and that there is no liquor allowed out on the outdoor part of the event space. Correct?
And you'd be happy to have lots of people.
Are we ready to call the question, as Duran says? You have a question for
no,
me?
just wanted to say, and room service is okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
keep your hours that you're a
All right.
hotel. You'll
Very
be
good.
within the range of the hotels.
Great.
All in favor? Opposed? One opposed, Joel.
Only opposed.
And one pub.
One
And
opposed.
I'd just like to explain why I really didn't care for this presentation. I didn't care for the fact that it was as, forgive me, sloppy, that it was go through and out, that these issues really hadn't been prepared. It's really a disservice to us.
Well-
And it gave me a very uneasy feeling about what your intentions and
I'm
management
abstaining.
abilities are.
And Mark abstained.
I
Okay.
apologize, that's completely
Not even to know
my
the
fault.
capacity of the event space?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, I wanted just, on my vote, I'm only voting opposed on the 10 o'clock hours for the roof deck.
Oh, everything else is okay.
I called it.
What? Megan abstained, that's fine. Okay. All right, so we're done.
And just put Susan's cell phone in the resolution so that anybody with the noise, just put Susan's cell phone.
So we need you to
in
sign
there.
this, please review
We
it.
would have manager.
Please
You're getting the call.
Sir.
You'll have someone
From me.
downstairs managing, because I.
Please, please review this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to send you.
I'll notarize it, you'll take a picture.
Okay.
Just please review back.
Now, the state liquor authority generally, they've come back and like a principal is actually gonna be on the license.
He's not a principal?
He's not gonna be on the actual license.
That's okay.
Is that
Who's
okay?
that?
Now, this is Gigi, she's the general manager.
That's fine.
It's fine, she's representing.
That'll
She's
work?
yes.
Okay.
Have Gigi sign.
But please check back your
Okay. Yes.
sign and
15 minutes, what did you say? Well, I would like to do 10 South Street, okay?
make it,
Yeah.
she'll notarize
No,
it,
you
take a
won't.
picture.
It's much simpler.
Okay, trade.
Okay, all right. If they've done their homework.
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much. Is your
That
cell
sounds
phone on
great.
there?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful, I'll give you mine too. Huh?
Any other Sunday, they can't serve till 10,
Absolutely.
till 10 a.m. I put that in there, because it wasn't mentioned, but
But I knew you would put it in.
self-evident. Yeah.
And he knows the liquor hours. All right, take a picture. All right, everybody. Thank you. All right, who's here from 10 South Street?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good to see you guys.
Okay, that's for you. Mark, this is yours, and we'll share it. You and I can share it. Take that, yeah. Okay. Andrew's not here. Andrew's not gonna run it?
Andrew was gonna come, he's not here.
Okay. What?
And by the way, I think we, if you know that, we will presentation. You've never seen it.
10 South Street we're doing today. Okay. So, what I need to, what I need you to do to start out with, I have I have three different things. One is on South Street. One is the for the Island Oyster. That's not you at all, right? You're not involved in that. That's a different one. No, it's in the it's okay. All right, so you have two. You have the hotel and you have the club.
It's
All
a
right.
members club, yes.
Members club.
So there are two applications, we gave you one package, but it has the floor plans and the information on both. So this is the BMB building. Henrik is here with me, who happens to live in the neighborhood. On behalf of Cipriani, we've got a traffic guy here because when we were here before you months ago for the catering portion, the only issue that came up was traffic, so we did a traffic study, it's attached to what you have, and we've got a security guy here who can answer any questions if you have about that.
All right, so short of having to read this, Donald, I have a question.
Okay.
All right? My question is, the biggest concern for us, for people who have raised issues, are two things. It's the drop-off, the pickup, and the bike lane and the pedestrian walk, because people live in that community and walk in that area. They walk on that pedestrian walkway, as do I at all times.
I go for runs on that pedestrian walkway.
Okay, so since we just got this and not having to read it, one of you explain it to us, please.
You wanna do it? You wanna talk about it?
So I can answer that.
Or you want, whoever.
Actually, the answer is really about managing the space. That's really where the security plan comes in. So I'm happy to refer to my colleague.
Okay.
So we have actually installed traffic agents around the bend in front of all the drop-off areas. We've actually done 17 events there since October. And we've had no issues in regards to traffic flow. We get the guests in fairly quickly, within about a minute to 30 seconds to a minute. They're in, the cars are moving. We have all the way from slip 7 all the way to slip 5 for the drop-off. And we have established, because at the beginning of slip 5, bicyclists are supposed to dismount and walk their bikes. Now, historically, it's been they come speeding by, so we again have to use due caution.
Is there signage there?
I believe there is right at the beginning of the path.
There is signage, but nobody ever does.
They never do. So we use due caution and get our guests in, ensuring that pedestrians don't get hit. I've been out there myself telling guys, hey, please dismount.
Right.
And, they either look at me, put their finger or, keep, right. So we've managed it to the point where we have drop-offs and pickups, and as the driveway opens, we can actually have less congestion because we'll have the driveway in which the cars can come in, drop off, and then leave, and we'll manage that as well.
So they go down and they go to, what's the South Street, term, I always, well, no. You get off from Cipriani and you go out along that little route where, when you get off on to get on the FDR, it's the one and whatever, I always forget that, whatever slip it is. That's all right. So is someone gonna be there? Because that's a terrible block with a lot of traffic pulled up and people get off on the South Street
I wanna be
exit.
clear, we
They're
have
not
cars from the bend, coming in from the FDR, all the way around to the end of slip 7.
Okay, I got
Yes.
it, okay. So I have a little question. You have been operating all this time. How the hell have you been operating and serving alcohol without all of this, Donald?
The catering, we get one-day permits for the catering facility. We apply for them, we get them, they're issued.
It's not
we
true.
operate
He knows. Okay, I just had to have everybody hear it.
How many have you applied for?
How many have you
Well,
got?
if-
15? About 15.
When they haven't red flagged you yet?
No, because we filed the application for the full catering license.
They did.
We
No, I understand.
We filed that,
I
and
understand.
we probably won't have any events until April or May? Until May. By then, we hope to have the permanent license.
Is the hotel open?
No.
When is that open?
October, we're targeting October 15th. How many people? What are we expecting? It's 47 rooms.
Yeah.
It's very boutique luxury. So my question is, I always wonder about that because I go over there also. It's just such a mess. It's so choppy where the FDR ends and then you have that broken sidewalk and then it's in front of your place and then you got come around.
They actually fixed the whole
Has
sidewalk.
redone the whole sidewalk. Okay, has been renovated the whole. Okay. Now we got.
I don't have it in front of me. Let me have the hours. Let me look. No, you keep it.
What I wanna know, I missed that part about being a private club.
Yeah.
Please, yeah.
Let me get to that if you have.
Cabaret permit,
So is this the restaurant? This is the main, the restaurant, it's open to the public. For the hotel.
I can do with 8.
The hours of.
So the hotel entrance is on the ground floor. The second floor is a spa and exercise room and a restaurant. It's a small restaurant. It only has 37 seats. Then the 2 floors above that are guest rooms, a total of 47 guest rooms. So the hotel is open 24/7. The restaurant will close at midnight.
And the restaurant's open to the public.
Restaurant is open to the public.
What time is it open?
It will open at what, 7 a.m.?
Yeah.
Restaurant will open at 7 a.m.
Does it have a separate bar, or is it just?
So you want alcohol service at 8?
Of course, you can't start before 8 a.m.
I'm sorry, no, but so, is there a takeout also?
In the restaurant?
No, room service for the rooms.
There'll be room service
So
in many
somebody
bars.
wanted to call up, your restaurant and say,
No.
can you deliver this?
No, but it's open to the public. You can come in, go to the second floor.
And take a doggy bag.
Okay, but my question was, do you have a separate bar? Is it just a restaurant, or there's
It's a
bar?
restaurant, there's a small bar in the restaurant.
Small bar in the restaurant.
So we could go in and just have a
Yes.
drink, we don't have.
So there's one application just for that. It's gonna be a hotel license. Hotel has its own entrance, has its own lobby. You can go up to the second floor, third floor, fourth floor.
We've had, CB1 in part, in conjunction with the community or the stakeholders, putting in the districts, hosted, another meeting earlier in the last week, and you guys were one of the items. So I have to disagree on behalf of the community that there has been no problems, because we did bring some, there were some resident comments about this establishment. One was, you guys paraded an elephant down the front.
No, that was 55.
This is the one, that's the one on Wall Street.
All the others have been, okay.
This is a different one. That's Andrews.
I took note of something with this one too, and I think
Tammy was concerned about the bike and the pedestrian walkway, and she was concerned, which I wasn't quite clear about, but she said Wall Street, which this doesn't have any traffic on Wall Street. This is strictly on water, when they turn on the slip, and,
I know, in that old,
yeah.
okay, so this is not the one that.
No, it's,
Residents were also complaining that they were taking up the whole block.
no. okay? Very different. All right, so Megan has a question.
Well, two things. What is the largest event you can hold? What is the capacity?
In the hotel, we can't hold events in the hotel. The event space is a separate catering license. We're not here on that tonight.
Okay, so we don't, so then terraces.
So-
We're gonna
so-
license a terrace.
Okay. The event space is the separate
that's not
catering license.
tonight.
Not tonight, Mitch.
You've already approved.
No,
You've
I don't
already-
need it
you've already
tonight.
approved that.
I don't wanna go there. Well,
Well, take it on your own time.
You know something, it could have been answered before, so there's a reason why he doesn't wanna say it.
We appear before. I'm
it's
happy
not
to
on
tell
the
you.
agenda, you can tell him.
It's 1100 is the maximum
That's all, that
capacity.
could have been done a
Yeah.
minute ago.
We were
That's
here
a
months
big-
ago on that application.
They were, okay, no, but it's fine.
Okay,
You
so
got
you
it.
intend to license a terrace.
All right, that's the second application. So the hotel, we're done with the hotel.
No, ours.
Hours.
The hours of the hotel, the hotel is 24/7.
Right.
The restaurant is 7 a.m. to midnight. Liquor would be legal.
8 a.m. to midnight.
The liquor is 8 a.m.
For
to
liquor,
midnight.
that's all I need to
The
know.
restaurant is 7 a.m. to midnight.
And it's 10 on Sundays, it's
10
in
on
there,
Sundays.
that's fine.
Right.
So that's the
Just background
hotel,
recorded music in the
Okay.
restaurant.
all right,
That's the hotel license.
yes. So the next item,
The next item is the 5th floor, which is above the hotel, and that is going to be a private members club. And we use club, not nightclub, it's not a nightclub, it's a private members club. It is designed for members that will apply and be accepted. Henry can talk a little bit more about it. There's an intent and hope to draw people from the downtown community. It is affordable. I think the intent is to charge about $3,600 for the year. So it's comparable to a gym membership when you do it monthly. Members can bring guests, but no more than 3 guests, and guests can't be there without the members, so you can't just send your friends.
Okay.
And the floor is a sort of social, community, networking place. If you look at the floor plan, there is a full restaurant, there are full kitchens, there's a little jazz breakfast area where they'll have some live music, some live jazz will be in that area. There are more comfortable living room space. There's another area that's a lounge. It's sort of broken out in different areas. In fact, you may remember that we came on a private members club for 100 Church Street a year or so ago. The Nexus Club also has like an entire floor, upper floor of a building. I don't know if anybody's been there, but the Nexus Club just has a bunch of different kinds of rooms. Every room has a little bit of a different feel. You can have a nice meal, something more relaxing. You can go to a bar. Similar kind of
They
plan.
had a space where you could have like 45 people for lunch and dinner.
Yeah, I think Nexus is much bigger. I think the footprint of that building is, I was there after they opened.
so
Very
what
large.
is the membership fee going to be?
3,600, the plan is around 3,600 for the year.
3,600 for single, 5,400 for couples, and 2,300 for under 30.
Okay. And your capacity for membership, how many do you expect?
And capacity, our goal.
Yeah, give me your
Yeah,
goal.
No, our goal would be to open maybe with like around like 1,000 members max. I mean, I think that's, and then at capacity, our goal is not to try to go as fast as possible. And that's not the vision here. So,
Can a member have a wedding there?
no, like any events will be on the second floor.
Also, you
Because we
should,
have-
the members can only bring 3 people.
Yes.
Okay, but there can't be an event.
No, we don't, like,
Events.
the vision is not, it's just a social enjoyment and like the second floor has like plenty of capacity.
Yes,
for
it does.
Big, small events, like, that's
Yeah,
when.
it's one of the beauties of the space is that there's event space separate apart from this, so there's no need to have large
So,
group events in the
Let's
space.
go to the hours.
The
You're not gonna
hours-
get 3 AM.
That's okay, we'll do 2 AM.
I don't know whether you'll get 2 AM.
Well, that's
I
what
have to
we-
ask the committee.
That's what we.
There are
need to-
really no,
Dancing?
people don't live.
Just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Dancing?
interrupt you.
No.
Just, no dancing. Just to be clear, it's not a 500-foot rule, there's only one license within 500 feet. We are on the water.
What's the
Sta-
license with the 500 feet though?
I can look up and
With
tell
Staten
you.
Island Ferry?
Staten Island Ferry is right next door. I mean, there are really no residential buildings, right? We got the highway on one side, and we got the water, and then we got Brooklyn, and who cares of it?
And there's more noise made by the cars.
But I'm not against it.
So we would like the 2 AM close.
second. So is there any way that the music would find its way onto the water? Because it just blows up.
No, so the entire inside, the large area that you see on the plan is enclosed. On either side of it is space that's a terrace that is enclosed by a 14-foot glass wall on all sides with retractable roof.
Soundproof?
Soundproof, the inside will be soundproof, it's all being constructed, yeah.
Yeah, they have that, so,
But they stop at 7:00.
yeah, yeah.
So I have another question.
I wanna try to get through.
I just have one more. So when you are not having an event, where you have security up and down, what other security is there for people who are just, walking by, who are biking by, who are coming out of the hotel?
Why would you need security?
I'm just curious.
Oh.
Because you know what, as this event space, unfortunately, when I first moved down here, we had zero crime.
I know.
Now that all people have come down here.
Thank you very much.
we have
You know,
more
between the
crime.
various components being a hotel and the event space is it's a good idea to have security. Most
Okay.
hotels have security.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to,
Michael.
so my main concern is like Susan said, the pedestrian and biking on that, since it is like, the Battery bike path leads right into it, the East, River bike path leads right into it, so there's a lot of commuters and a lot of tourists that are biking and walking back and forth. You mentioned there's a dismount sign, and where's that exactly?
Should be right past the slip
not there,
7.
Sound like, say what?
It's not there, just.
Right,
It's
it's
not-
DOT's,
it's
right?
DOT.
Yeah, yeah, I just wanna understand like where.
It should be right past, I
Is
think
it
it's
this-
the Department of Waters should have a.
Oh, it's like
right
over
before
here.
there.
Yes.
You know, they got the building that you go in and get the tickets to go to.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right before
Okay.
that.
Right where
No
the,
one ever dismounts.
No.
See, no,
I-
I'm
I-
sympathetic though, because nobody, if they ride these bikes, they're not enforcing
Right,
things
I
like that, so.
totally agree.
So you'll have to
Don't
enforce it,
tell me
that's
you're
all. The
on
city is, I know. It's for your members, I know. All right.
Yeah, if Bloomberg wins, the entire country will be a bike lane. That's one reason not to vote.
Oh, shush. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay, go, so we
What are the
can.
hours we decided?
We decided that they have 7 a.m. to, except on Sunday, 10 to 2. We're giving till 2 a.m.
2 a.m., so 8 to 2,
It's no one's around.
8 a.m.
It's all right.
to 2
We're not that
a.m.
unreasonable.
Actually, I feel sad.
A little
for
bit,
them
but not
walking
totally.
you know what, I think the fact that they're there with all those nice
Monday
walking tickets,
to Saturday.
Thanks, Donald.
That's what I'm saying, I
I
feel
think it's
safer
a good
that they're
idea
there.
that they're there, because
10
you
a.m.
go over some security like him, that, you know,
to
For
Well,
him to
just
say
talk
it's a
to
good
them.
idea.
They need 2, right?
I don't think I've ever
Sunday.
heard that before.
10 to 2.
Well, I've actually had people come up to me
Do
and
they
say,
need 2
hey,
stip
you know,
sheets?
we have to scalp this.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
2.
All right,
There's a couple of things I got. Yeah.
okay.
All
You
right,
wanna,
what is this deck space?
What?
The deck space, what is that?
What's the deck space?
Any rooftop terrace or other outside usages?
Those are the 2 areas on either side that have the 14-foot glass surrounded and they have retractable roofs. So we want them to be upfront about it. It's not enclosed by concrete. It's enclosed by the wall, by the glass
So,
walls.
if the roof is retracted, then there's sky above the person with a drink in
Right,
their hand.
but there's nobody there. I mean, the sound goes up. There's nobody there,
It's,
and it's much different than.
do you
a
have any
rooftop.
photos of this?
Yeah, we do actually.
Yeah, let me
Yep,
see this, we
show
gotta see
photos
this.
of the
we've seen it because when they came the first
don't
time with
remember.
Harry,
I don't
remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
What
you
did
weren't,
we-
you
what-
were,
I think I missed it.
yeah. They were gonna, with whatever his name is. All right, so
We have
can
to
I
decide-
call the
well,
question?
Wait, we have to decide on this deck space issue.
Oh.
And then I have two other questions to fill
Okay,
out the
quick.
step sheet.
We're pretty
Um,
good with time. What?
No, I'm saying everything is fine.
What?
Mark is concerned, I think, because of, I mean, the noise goes up. It
I just
doesn't
said
go
if
out.
there's any residential, and Joel and Pat told me.
No.
I mean, it's basically a rooftop, guys.
Yeah, we know.
I mean.
We approved it once in
different.
financial.
Alright.
We did it at financial. Anthony has a point,
This-
Karen. I understand that. However, what I really want to stress, and the committee can say no, it is out there where there's nothing.
Right.
and there is really nothing around there quite there where anybody lives. So that the music, if it was such, but I don't think it's going to be that kind of space. The events, we're not even at the downstairs or whatever. We're here where they're having their club. I can't imagine with 3 other people you're going to have this loud DJ music. They're not having any of these things. I don't think it's an issue. That's me personally. I've been up there.
Well, they're
All
right,
right.
and
If I
right
can
in
add
the,
that to it,
yeah, go ahead.
A rooftop has a parapet wall that's this high and it's open. Our wall is taller than this.
Yeah, I saw, it was glass wall.
I think
Yeah.
the intended benefits outweigh any.
So, go ahead.
If you,
Go right ahead.
Can I just add, yeah, because you, I hear your intent, the intent is not, it's exactly not what you said. And also it's a luxury hotel. So like on the 4th floor.
You have
it's
people.
All the suites.
Okay.
Each suites have like 200 square foot balconies.
So that they can drink and fall over.
So
In the water.
so the roof, so the only thing on the deck space that will be open is the roof. Those windows on this side,
And we have a
and there's no
retractable, so
door.
often it will be.
There's nothing that can open on the side, all right.
I think
So add that to the resolution, and also add, can I finish, please? Let me finish. And there's no such thing as a friendly amendment.
Yes, there is.
Wait, not
There-
here,
there
not
is-
here.
There is not such thing as a friendly amendment.
Okay.
What I just said, about that the roof, only the roof will retract, there will be no doors or windows open on the side walls. And that the deck space is being allowed because there are no residents in close proximity to the applicant.
Perfect, thank you.
And if in future there is a concern, we note that the, roof space over the terrace is retractable and that it can be closed.
Yes,
And it shall be closed in certain cases. If we have.
it's not a
sufficient numbers
problem.
of people.
All right, can I have a vote? All in favor? Public member? Anybody opposed? No.
Do we have a contact number for
We're gonna have it all down here. I need a contact number.
What time are you
Okay.
getting deliveries? Before 7? I mean, after
7.
7?
After 7. All right, I think we've done our agenda, have we not, Jen?
We've done all the applications.
Yeah. Thank you.
You don't want to sign them now?
No, because Henrik's
All right.
not on.
Say hi to
All right,
Andrew.
can you take a picture of these? They want to take it with them. Okay.
Bye, Donald. Not ever easy. It's never easy.
It's okay, so it's not too bad.
No, this
I
is,
thought we'd be here much later when
no,
I saw
no,
the
no.
agenda.
No. I'm pretty fast.
One big one didn't show up. Well, we'll see
Well,
them next.
yeah, we'll see them next
week.
time. I'm pretty fast and I'm pretty obnoxious.
We're going to have a separate meeting for sleep of the night.
Oh, you betcha.
My stepdaughter just got a job.
Well,
Do you want to check it now real quick, just so I'm here?
We're going to take this with us. We'll
I mean,
take a
you
look.
just want to take a look real quick now, if there's anything outstanding?
you took
I
pictures?
guess while I'm here.
Thank you.
You can fix it right away. Yeah.
Well, I want to just help Jen. She's all by herself a little bit, so you can go. Yeah, just a little bit.
No, it's
yeah.
okay. I got it, don't worry. It's okay.
I want to thank you all. This is never easy. I'm going to see you all on the 18th.
Special meeting.
That's our special
Second,
meeting.
liquor license.
All right? Special, yes. 18 exchange, 20 William, or vice versa. I never remember the whatevers.
We need a quorum for it, do we not?
I need you all to come. Michael, you'll be there?
It's not an elected, that we need a quorum for this.
Here.
Thank you. We need a quorum next week. Yeah, there's an actual meeting. Yeah, it's not, you know, right, we're not gonna keep chatting.
Here are all the steps. Bless your heart,
I
Michael.
know.
I've always adored
I got
you, but
you.
I adore you
Thank you,
even
dear.
more.
It takes a long time. It's up to Lucy to
I said-
update the information on the website.
I said, well, were in
I know.
take me off, but Mike said I could go to Denver.
Don't worry, thank you.
Oh, by the way, next in March, will you be at the full board? Alright, I'm gonna probably leave early that day.
I may be, yeah, I'll be there.
So I don't have to get the present, alright. Yeah, I'll be there. We're good? Great. Okay. Yeah, when do you need it by?
Monday.
Okay.
Please, Monday, as soon as
Please.
possible.